Yo. How's it going, ladies and gents? A Monday stream. I know we haven't done one of these in forever. But I told y'all last week I would be looking for a swing Friday or Monday. I did not stream last 2 days of last week just because of I just didn't want to. So today I'll be looking for one. By the way, right now SPY looks great for downside. This is a demand from the previous day. This is Friday. You can see today we broke it in the first 10 minutes. Buyers tried to hold us up. Trend continued though. Again, you kind of see these lower highs right here. But you can see here too, you know, once they retook this area, they did a good job. I won't lie, they did a good job right here. But this is what was concerning. Like they did good getting here, but then after this, there was nothing that kept this going, if that makes sense, right? So that would be a huge reason why this had a big breakdown. There was no actual bullish support made, right? I would say there was a start to one. There was definitely a start to one. And if this had been a higher high, or this had been a higher high, or just, you know, anything, because these held pretty good too, then it would have been fine. But it was just too weak trying to hold the support after losing it in the first 10 minutes. And sometimes when you see that, like, this is what causes some of the best lead test trades. They just look a little ugly. If you actually look back at today's price action, what did price do? Who can tell me in the stream? What did price do when it broke this support? What does that trigger for you and me as a Bueller bias trader? What does that trigger? By the way, I'm going to go to Discord as well so you guys can have both options. Someone get this question right, please. This will show that you're a beast. But what does this mean, seeing price break under that support? What does that tell us? Remove all that junk now. Nice, Andrew. I'll take a look at that here in a second. I did see you post that last week, so I'll see what's up. I'm sure it's fine, though. Come on, guys. You guys know what? You guys know the answer to this. What is this? It's the first 10 minutes of the day, and it's breaking a support. What does this trigger for you and me? It's the same thing when we see a lead test. It's the same terminology. What is this doing by breaking that support? Come on, somebody get this. We say this word so much. Thank you, Sandollar. I appreciate you. Can I ask you, Sandollar? I don't know if I've ever asked this before. The 77 in your name, does that mean 1977? Or is that just a number you like, lucky number? Invalidation, liquidity. Come on, guys. You guys are kind of there, but you're not there. Structure. We broke structure, right? So that should trigger... Okay, we need to be looking for either lower highs or a bearish retest, right? So what do we see happen after this? Price goes back up and it retakes. All right, now what are we thinking? Okay, now I need to see a better hold of this area, right? Because it's 50-50 now. We went from, oh crap, this is bearish, to, oh, well, hold up. In less than 20 minutes, actually, I was going to say less than, but in about 20 minutes, this all happened. Over the next 30 minutes, there was kind of a higher low sitting here. So I don't blame anyone for seeing this. But what did it not do? It did not change the trend of previous day. So as we target those lower highs previous day, just eyeballing. You know, if you actually mark these, I think you're crazy. You should just eyeball these. You know, you see price getting up towards another one. See, does it break that? Does it break that high? If so, awesome. That means it's a little bit more bullish than it was before. Did it break it here? No. So what does that tell us? That it's not a little bit more bullish than it was before. It's at the same exact pace, same tone. It's a little 50-50 feel. Indeed it does. Okay. I always wondered, but I didn't know if I'd ever asked before. I figured I'd ask now. Thank you for the coffee, though, bro. I actually got this new machine. I think you'd be impressed with me. I'll show you later, but these little things, they cost like $1 a piece, dude. It's pretty expensive, but It's way better than like Keurig. Keurig, it has like that water feel, that watered down taste. No, this machine, it literally tastes like coffee. It's real. It's weird. But yeah, these things are good. Thank you, Sandollar. But yeah, guys, the word I'm looking for there is a structure break. We're seeing an important area of support break. I saw a few of you type failed 40% entry, invalidation. These are also correct. But I feel like when we say structure break, I feel like it really does trigger something inside of us. Like, okay, wait, hold up. I need to see more than just, you know, a break. I need to see a retest because this is the first 10 minutes of the day we're talking about, right? So again, guys, kind of falling back into that order of operations, I really beg you to watch these videos so you have a better understanding of what you're doing with whatever information is in front of your screen. You know what's funny too is I always word my own I word myself incorrectly. Like I always sit here and try to limit this concept, this theory, you know, this whatever you want to call this order of operations. This theory is for our system, but the more I was thinking about it the other night, the more I was like, wait, like you really could apply what this system teaches to any strategy. It's crazy. So I really do urge any of you to just watch these videos. Just understand there is a direction, there is an order to things when you're looking at levels, zones, you know, the current day open. Just there's so many different things to look at, but this really does simplify it a little bit. So I urge you guys, please watch this video and then watch this one to follow it up. I didn't realize this one was so much longer, but I think this one does like a more in-depth breakdown, and then this one's like, it just kind of gets you into it. It kind of breaks down the theory for you, and then this is really a bigger breakdown, so more examples and stuff. So definitely go through that. It's only about 30 minutes of information, as you can see, but I would say that's, if you're someone who's beyond, oh, I'm already good at getting levels, or I don't care, I got EMAs, or I got this, or I got that, like you're already kind of set, you're just kind of looking to like move forward from that, I would say that's your next step, is finding a rule-based system for whatever you're looking at. You know, every time this does this, I'm going to do this. Every time this does this, that's what it tells me. It's not always about taking a trade. It could just be information. Every time this happens, I'm getting this. Every time this happens, I'm this level of bullish, or I'm this amount of bearish, or I'm full sending puts here, blah blah blah. You know, just whatever the trigger is or whatever that condition is, find that. Make a system behind it. It makes sense of what you're looking at. Get it in order. Because again, if every time this level breaks, you're taking calls and puts, well, I think your account's going to be diminished pretty quickly. So that's why it's nice to have a system to things, an order to things. And that's again why I came up with that order of operation system. It's just like mathematical equations in a weird way, right? Nobody here likes doing math equations. I like math, and I don't like doing math equations. So it's nice to be able to have a system to things, but you know, let's say me, Ace, Dividend, Gorov, Sinful, Sandollar, you know, VC, Maddie, Dividend. Let's say all of us had the exact same equation in front of us, right? And let's say every single one of us did it a different way. We would get a bunch of different answers. Some of us might even arrive at the same conclusion. Some of us are going to be way off. Some of us might be close, but only one of us will be right. Or none of us. Actually, none of us could be right. That's another you know, outcome. So the cool thing about this, though, is if you're doing the order of operations correctly, right, like in real life when you're doing math equations, there is a direct path to the right answer that you should be getting to, right? So it doesn't matter if you know, wander off and find these other ways of doing things, they're wrong, right? That's how you should look at your system. You know, you're looking at this stuff and you're like, oh, well, this would get me into calls, or this would get me into puts. Like, that should be your absolute trigger every time. But there should be an opposite trigger too, right? Like, oh, okay, this did this, now I'm bullish. Oh, but it just did this, now I need to get out of that trade. Like that, you need to have a condition like that, so you aren't really sitting here worrying about losing a bunch or anything like that. That's one thing. But two, so you actually have like a consistent path to take, right? If you're doing something different 50 different ways, and you're getting 50 different answers, it's not really fair to look back at any of those 50 different instances and be like, oh, well, that's what I was doing wrong. Oh, that's why I suck. Oh, this is why I did this. Like, because then you're kind of just picking a bunch of, like, randomosity, and I don't know if you should be doing that. I think that would just be random. Again, I mean, that is random. That's the definition of random. But pretty cool, though. Again, kind of reinforcing why we appreciate the order of operations so much. So I hope you guys check that stuff out, and not just watch it. I could give a fuck about views on my YouTube videos. I really do hope you go watch that and actually use it for yourself. I hope you take it. I hope you take it and make it a part of you. But that level of thinking is very helpful for anybody who's here and you're kind of beyond the point of like, you know, getting levels and coming up with how to chart. You know, that's fine. This is for like a little bit more advanced, kind of the different level of thinking, what you should be looking at, how you should be looking at it. You got it wrong. You're bad at meth. By the way, I did see your message earlier, Ace. It was the first message in chat, actually, on stream. He said, "Ayo, I knew you wanted to play marbles today." What's up, Simple? Was away from trading for a long time. Feels good to hear Bueller again. What's up, Gorov? My next step is shake your hand, sir. But let me know if that made any sense. Anything I was just going over. I didn't really see any feedback on it, so I'm assuming it connected some of you. But I hope that helps, because honestly, I would say that is the next most important step for you. If you, again, for someone who's beyond, how do I get levels? You know, if you're beyond that. Yeah. I mean, you can still trade. I would definitely look up like what's a normal implied volatility for whatever you're looking at, and then if it's, you know, higher or lower than that, definitely base your opinion on that. But as far as I'm concerned, trading around the actual election isn't really that crazy compared to earnings. Plus, we're coming off of earnings, a bunch of big earnings, so I think people are not brushing off the results. That's not what I'm saying by any of this. But brushing off the importance of it. I would say some people are probably just going to trade. Honestly, I don't think people are going to think about it too much. Now afterwards, I think that's going to have an effect. If someone wins or loses and it's a surprise, that'll definitely hurt the market. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure the market knows who's winning. In a Fibberoni sandwich. Yo, thank you, Dividend. He gifted a Bueller Buy membership, and it went to... Who did it go to? Oh, it went to Tobias. Sorry, it like moved itself. That was weird. See, I don't know. He might not even be here. He might be busy. He said marble straight up, just nothing else. FSLR left base without me. Oh yeah, what are we doing? Get the hell off this chart. But is everybody good on smaller time frames? We're all set, because I've talked a pretty good amount about this now. I don't really want to look at smaller time frames. He's asleep now. I mean, fair enough. He is across the world. Honestly, I would say the hardest country to be in a chat that has mostly like Americans, Canadians, you know, people from this side of the world. I would say the hardest country to be in is probably Australia. I've had someone from the Middle East. I've had someone from India. We had someone in Japan. We have a few people in Europe still. But out of all of those people, I would say the most difficult country it is to talk to, like talking to that person. I would say the hardest country is probably Australia. That has got to be the hardest place, or time zone, I'm sorry, to do that. The person that was in Japan too, I remember not talking to them that much because it was just too much time in between us. It was like, what the hell? So, yeah, fair enough. But I've had enough Europeans friends now. Well, I wouldn't know. Maybe they're my friends. Who knows? I wouldn't call them that to their face. Those people, I've definitely talked to them a lot more. It's a lot easier to talk to them. I would definitely say the Australia, Japan area, you know, that kind of direction is, that amount of time in between is a little awkward. Anybody can do it 10, 12 hours, but a little more than that, it gets a little awkward. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. I was doing, damn, oi, oi, oi is like an anime thing and an Australian thing. What the hell? Australians invented it. Dividend Bull said, I'm gonna go play Rocket League. Oh, y'all, are you gonna play together? Wasn't everyone playing Rocket League? I just met someone the other day too, and they were like, I'm gonna go play Rocket League. That's always been a question from, like, that I've wanted to ask. But I don't, it's kind of like hard to take that poll because like, you have to contact every trader. But it'd be cool to know, like, what is every trader, like, you know, at least on this side of the world. It'd be cool to be like, to know what kind of game they like to play, or what do they do outside of trading, or what do people, what is like their favorite pastime outside of this, like, and it don't be like, oh, it's probably charting. No shit. Alright, nobody said anything, so I'm assuming everyone's good on this chart. We talked about it a pretty good amount. Now for the big boy stuff. Might have to change some charts, like I'm not gonna stare at this chart. That's not the, there we go. That's a little more, it's a little more our pace. I would say I would mind, unless this is already a thing, I wouldn't mind them to add like a keybind for Thinkorswim. I think it'd be cool if they had keybinds for their for like your charts. Like instead of me going up here and moving my mouse to do all this, it'd be cool to just click like, oh, parenthesis L, knowing that goes to the next chart or whatever, you know, whatever it is. But it'd be cool to have a keybind that actually like moves you to the next chart instead of having to do it yourself. Someone at Thinkorswim is hearing me right now, please God. But I think that would be a pretty cool addition to this app, instead of me having to go up here and do it, because like right now, I'm not looking at day trades. I don't want to see smaller time frame charting, right? And I'm gonna have tons of charts that are like that because of us streaming and stuff to each other. But yeah, this is kind of tedious. Tesla not looking too bad. We just charted that last week, so I don't have to do that again. Which, just curious. Oh, they're not even close. 229. Never mind. Never mind. Not even close to that gap fib yet. It's funny too, like you see like Meta's at an obvious support. It just doesn't have any life to it yet. Spy's kind of the same thing. You know, they gapped down, they did their damage, but they're kind of sitting around the same kind of vibe as that meta chart. You know, this is where they made highs, made a higher low, continued on to keep going. This is where they made their all-time high, blah, blah, blah. But where they pulled back down to and where they could be slowing down at is where we would need to see another higher low for this trend to continue. So it might not be today. This might not be the signal that everyone's looking for. But this could be the start to ones. The fact that we could have kept going and didn't is a pretty big deal. So, and there aren't as many big earnings this week as there was last week. There are a few notable names, but it's nothing that's gonna shift the opinion of the market. I do believe everyone is just waiting on the election results and just all that crap. Yeah, this week is QCOM. Nice, that's it. Never mind, there aren't any notable names. Forget I even said that. I like to racing games used to my... Oh, do you have a steering wheel? That's kind of cool. Damn, do you play Trackmania then? I play Fortnite and spread Trump Russia misinformation. I almost just straight up said information instead of misinformation. Almost made Sinful look like a commie. Yo, what's up, Breaking Levels and Joyful? Good to see you. Do y'all need me to go over Spy at all before I move on? Because I mean, y'all could go back in the stream and just watch, but anything before I move on, because I'm about to get off that chart. I'll probably come back to it end of day, though, just to see what's up. Looks like it's not hard to read. Like, he just posted in results and review channel. That's okay. We'll take that one. Damn. Look at you using the terminology, Maddie. He said T-line cross and blast off. And see, sometimes that's just gonna happen. I can't do anything about that. Here, I'll turn it on. I'm gonna just turn on the 9 and the 21. I'm not gonna go ham. Honestly, most of the time, Maddie, when I'm looking through this stuff, I will turn on the 3. Because it's kind of cool, because this is like a first trigger, this is like a second trigger, and if it gets to this part of the, like, momentum of side of things, that's pretty impactful to me. Like, so if I was a part of a move like this, you know, I wouldn't be complaining, sitting here and be like, oh, I gotta make it to 237. Like, no, what? I just went through 2 triggers. So that I wouldn't even be. Breaking levels. Oh my god, I'm in love with you. He said, you can create styles with each time frame, then go to settings, general, my tools, and add them as buttons. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm gonna clean up my charts later. I'll have like the organization fixed, and then I'll do that. I also need to figure out what keys I want to abuse. Probably do the numbers. Probably assign a number to certain things, like 4 is day trading, 5 is swing, 6 is a tertiary chart, whatever I'm doing. Oh my god, I love you. This is why you have a chat full of nerds. People like this will emerge with the craziest of answers. I knew there had to be a way. That's why I kind of left that when I said that too. I was like, there's no way there isn't, but in case there isn't, let's torch TOS. Oh, I love you. I'm gonna test that out later. Damn, you ask and you shall receive. My bad, Maddie. I kind of like went off course there. It kind of sucks this is from earnings, but yeah, you aren't lying. Pretty much just blast off after close. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, most traders look at this and they're like, oh wow, I went from one EMA over the other one to the next. That's crazy. And like, that's it. That's the only like level of thinking they get to, because they don't look at this stuff, right? But as we look at it, as we'd like to, again, if you're not new, if you're new to this, please check out some of the swing trading playlist that I have. It's completely free to look at on the YouTube channel. No paid advertisement. But just watch that stuff and then you could catch up. But yeah, no, seeing the fact that it broke over the 9 into that third, that is great. That is a massive amount of momentum, right? Now, it's probably not tradable because what did we get? We got one bullish pattern to appear, but it was on the back end of not a whole lot. So if you didn't jump in this, I don't blame you. But there was only one candlestick pattern, and it really wasn't anything that could have got you in. You know, it was good positioned, I'll give you that. But it wasn't even over the lower highs, and it was just kind of awkward, so. But again, notable though, like you said, notable, because it just launched, like you said. That is a launch. I would definitely call it that. And most traders on the internet, they don't give credit to who they learn these things from, but I do. I learned pretty much all this on my own, but the theory system behind it, which is what I believe is way more important, was definitely from Stephen Bigelow. So if you guys want to check him out on YouTube, rest in peace. He is definitely pretty impactful when it comes to, like, we kind of had this system too, but like when I reviewed what he was doing, I was like, oh my god, this is so us. Like, this is what we do. I gotta use this. So definitely check out his YouTube channel if you want. But you'll see too, a lot of my videos were exactly like his, and then I stumbled upon who he was, and it was like, oh my god. And then you'll see like a shift in my swing trading videos. It's like I just start looking at things completely differently, you know, but kind of the same to what we were doing before. Like it was there, we didn't get across the finish line. So I always like to give him credit because his videos are pretty addicting to watch. They're really easy to watch. He just straight up pulls up tons of charts and then he just goes through them all, and it's like bam 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 bam. Like he just goes through it and he says what looked good, what doesn't. And that's honestly like how I like to look at things. I kind of like to go through all of these, and in my head I filter, all right, how many of these are setting up, how many of these are worthless that I shouldn't even be thinking about yet because they need more time, or maybe they just did something like crazy, or maybe I just traded them and I need to not be thinking about them as much. You know, the coolest thing about the back end of that is just like the reviewing of it all. Like it doesn't matter if you took a risk or not, you're pretty much just back testing yourself to see how well do you know the system, and you're not having to risk any money, which is a problem because you do have that emotional connection once you do start live trading. So I'm not trying to take away like the difficulty of that or anything. It's a completely different battle there. But it's still nice to get those reps so you get kind of warmed up to what you should be looking at. You know, we're not trying to sit here and say, you know, am I dumb? Am I smart? It's not what we're looking for. We're just trying to look like, can I learn the system? And that's it. And validate, that's it. So if you guys want to, definitely check out the playlist, the swing trading playlist on my channel. Again, like I said, it's free. There's no paid money or anything on that. Just watch. And if you want to check out that guy's channel, please do. Very insane. Yeah, I saw that too, BWXT, because we were looking at that in stream. It had that look. It hadn't like been breaking support yet. It kind of did that here. Wicked, caught. Didn't really change trend. Didn't even really get into that gap up here. Made an inside bar breakdown. So that's kind of the trigger. Didn't really invalidate, even though it definitely tried its ass off to. So again, in the trigger, it's like 5-minute candle thinking. Like open, close. Did it close? Did it not? You know, that's kind of what you're basing off of. So that's also another problem with swing trading is like the mentality to be able to understand, like, to hold through this candle is crazy, by the way, but you should have. Nothing in the system said that you should have gotten out of this. You know, there was also that possibility they just wanted to go up, fill gap, come back down. So it's just a little weird, but that was the trigger for sure. Definitely a nice drop into that 21, and you can see where are they slowing down at? Where's that next? I always think of it as like darts, like you're throwing darts at something, right? Let's say there's like a shirt on the wall and I throw a dart, it's stuck to the wall now. That's what I see with this. Like I see someone threw a dart and it caught it right here. Every single time you see the breakdown of the 9, the 21 is the highest probability target. Some say the 20, the 21. That's basically the same damn thing. So yeah, you're aiming for one of those two. Also, if you use the 8 instead of the 9, that is also fine. I used to use the 8. The 8 was my whole thing, but there's really no difference behind them. I've used the 9 for the longest time, and there's no difference. One number in the equation to make that indicator pop up on your screen is the difference. But throw down some tickers if you guys want me to go look through them. I'm going to keep going through the list, but of course, feel free to throw in your own, and we'll just quickly analyze them. Another cool thing I like about this system is that it's just like Ichimoku in a way. Ichimoku is a Japanese trading system, and if you look up what that means in English, it means one look. The one look indicator, the one look system, right? And that's what's really cool about this, is you should be able to just click to a chart quickly, you know, and your eyes are probably focused on like this part of it, so you probably don't need to have it as open as I did. You're probably just focused on this aspect of it, just the recent price action, and then you're quickly looking around your EMA. All right, what's it doing? Did it come from a pattern? Did it not? Okay, bam, next. Don't need to think anymore. Moving on. Oh, that's not really playable. I don't really care if it's at a support or not. I need to see some more buyers first. Bet. Move on. This one actually doesn't look too bad. And that's it. Just a one look, quick look thing. Like, it really shouldn't take you more than 20 seconds tops to look at it really quickly. Now, if you're charting it, that's differently. Getting your levels ready, throwing up some stuff on it, that's fine. You know, all you. I see why Chef likes longs now. Not just because of the support, but I think he played it here before. So he has that historical feeling, too, of like, oh, okay, it's probably trying to hold again. It might be going up again, so
Yeah, 159 isn't a bad target for Boeing. Just a show of hands. You guys don't have to answer, of course, if you're like that shy, but just throw an emoji in the chat. Are you someone who is already aware of our system and how we swing trade and stuff? Just so I can get kind of a good feel of how many of you are on the same page. Damn, FedEx looks so good for downside. What is this fib I threw up? Oh, it's this gap. Okay, never mind. No, it's not. It's that drop down. Yeah, it's that high to that low. Damn, FedEx looking good for downside. Let me be clear. Rejecting 3 EMAs all at once. That might be risky to enter off of just the rip, but that's a significant amount of selling, like we just saw on that that other chart. And it's okay if you haven't mastered it. I haven't mastered it. I wouldn't say anybody here can. I wouldn't say that's what our goal should be. It's not to master that. I would say our goal to be is just to keep going. Next one. Move on to the next. Move on to the next. Move on to the next. Keep finding conditions to find yourself better results, better outcomes. Like some random rule I found out with this system over time is kind of like this, like that level of thinking. Like, yeah, this does look good for puts, but what did it do today? It rejected 1 and went through 2 more. So what should that tell me? Yeah, that is a heavy amount of selling, but that doesn't mean I should enter it yet. Remember, we like to be in those high probability situations. It's not really high probability if it's already broken through 3 of them in one day. And it might be, it might be needed. This is a lot of rejection here, so I'm not saying it can't go down, but that does lower that, favorability of that. Like, yeah, it looks good at first glance, but it's like, wait, something's off. And that's what I'm talking about. Finding those something off, that weird feeling you get when something's wrong. Like, something's wrong here. I know it. Like, there is something there. Find it. Find that condition, make a rule behind it, and stick to it. Don't ever betray it. Don't ever move away from that rule. Don't make that mistake again, is pretty much what you're trying to do. Now, easier said than done. Don't hear me explain that and be like, oh, it's fucking easy. He just said it in like 5 seconds. No, it's not easy at all. I'd always like to say that at the end, too, because it's so easy to say shit. Like me, like right now, it's really easy for me to say things on here as a streamer, and I'm sure it is for other thousands of people who make videos and streams. But just always understand that it's easy to say shit. It's not easy to physically do it, right? And it's not just physically; it's mentally as well. You're mentally having to make that decision of, yeah, I want this to go down. Let me grab a position. This is what I'll do if it's wrong. This is what I'll do if it's right. And then having to stick to that. And sometimes even on the fly, having to make a decision before either of those conditions are met. Based on whatever. Maybe something else pops up. But I hope that some of that makes sense, because I know that can be a little difficult. You'll still click them versus having to do the drop downs, but not sure how to do the keybinds. We'll keep looking. Control T is the only thing I do Control Z. You don't do Control Z? You gotta know Control Z on TOS. Just remember, if you guys have Thinkorswim, and let's say you drew like a bunch of crap you're just wanting to look at, and you're like, alright, I've analyzed that, I don't need to have this up now. You can actually hit Control Z for, I think it's the last 10 instances. It might be 9. I don't remember. It's one or the other. So you can't, if you draw like 11 things really quick and you go delete them all, you have to go manually delete that last one, because you can't do it with Control Z. But Control Z is by far the coolest, default keybind for Thinkorswim. I don't know if other apps have that or not, but I know for a fact this one does. And it's just nice, because you can just go do it real quick, and you don't have to move your mouse, you don't have to right-click it. Control T brings up the time frame window. Oh, that's kind of cool. Ah, and it goes straight to your favorites, too. That's sick. I'd be like, oh, bet. Oh, that's nice. You're going to see me abuse that so much more. I feel like I'm playing Counter-Strike right now. Just learning keybinds to move more efficiently. By the way, this looks good too, but again, kind of that same rule, like it's already through 3 of them. Should you really be looking for more? And if it, I know that's another thing too that's kind of hard to be realistic with is like, let's say you think this is gonna go up, but you're like, but it's not a condition met where you want to enter the trade, but you still believe it's gonna go up. That's fine. That's okay. You're human. It's fine. It's okay that you don't have to enter a position. And let's say it does go up. How would a normal person feel after that? They're gonna feel like they're being cheated. They're gonna feel like, they're gonna feel shitty. It's gonna suck because they were right and they're not in a position to benefit from it. It's just talk, right? But is it really fair for us to just run, instantly as soon as we're born? I don't think so, right? You end up crawling, you end up learning how to walk, then you learn how to run, right? So I don't think it's fair for anybody here when you're starting this stuff out to look at this and be like, oh, I was right, but I wasn't in it. That you shouldn't feel bad about that. You should feel great about that. You were able to find possible opportunity. Did you take it? No. Okay, fuck it. Whatever. That's called a rep. Getting your rep. You need to be able to look at this stuff, break it down, move on to the next. You wouldn't sit there and stalk your ex. Well, maybe some of you would, but you wouldn't stalk your ex. That'd be weird. You'd be weird for that, right? So why would you do that with your stock picks, right? Let's say you're like, oh, I just got out of puts on this. You're not going to keep watching that. No, move on. Find something else. There's other opportunity out there. Like American Airlines. Which, I'm not trading American Airlines, but that does look good for downside. I feel like I get cheated on that options chain. Dollar General's so beat up, but she's trying to hold. That poor thing. Ooh, the hell did I kick? Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a trap now. This chart is such a bait and switch now. This right here, it's scary to look at. Now, this is definitely a chart you got to go look at the financials and be like, all right, are they actually making money? Like, what is this company doing? So maybe not physically go look at the numbers yourself, but definitely try to research what the fuck is going on. Now, remember what I talked about back here? They are kind of changing their company a little bit, and this is costing them a lot in the long run. I believe Dollar Tree is doing the exact same thing. They're, like, you'll know what I mean if you're a little older, but growing up, Dollar Tree and Dollar General were looked at as nice stores. But as time went on, they got a lot trashier, right? And a lot of people stopped caring. So I think company-wide, not every single Dollar Tree and Dollar General, but they're spending a lot of money on redoing a lot of the stores. And that does take time and money, so I don't know if that's the only issue. Maybe there's more going on. I'd have to dig deeper, or just research, but I remember in the past, that's what we were kind of expecting, but it's still a little wild to see them still on this pace, right? I mean, they're at lows where you don't know if you should be bearish anymore. And that's a good reason to flip. Alt J for TradingView adds price line for emerging candle. What? You just hit Alt J and it throws up an emerging candle level for you? Like, you're not having to hover or anything. You don't have to, like, hover over it and be like, this is where I want it, and then hit Alt J. It just knows? What the hell? Wanted to grab puts, but the options chain is whack. Wait, which one are you talking about on that? If I have the Mac... Oh, okay. I was like, damn, bro. TradingView's got it going. That's still nice, though. No, I mean, hovering over it, that's still kind of cool, though. There's ways to do keybinds. I know there is. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never really been a TradingView hater. I just don't use it. I've even paid for TradingView for different things, for like alerts for the chat or whatever. You can like set up Like you can make your own bot. I mean, this is all bigger brain thinking than me. Damn, Target is still here? This poor thing? Why are my numbers green? That's gotta be new. I've never seen green numbers above that. These are green, but those are the earning payout. What the hell? That is new. I don't know how new. That's probably added months ago when Schwab got it, but I remember these being like white or yellow or not there at all. Or maybe I'm schizo. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember though. Yeah, I mean this looks so good, and it already has the gap fib. This is a good example just to follow and not trade. I would say this is a perfect example. Like, this is something you could take from the 9 down to the 21. But it wants to probably do that today. Also, not a huge fan of that chain, again, just like I said earlier. I do like Delta's chain a lot. But I'm not really a huge fan of trading either of those that much. They're just so volatile. I feel like sometimes my contracts move well, and then other times my contract moves too well. Like, let's say you're wrong and your contract's $40, and then when you're wrong, it's like a $13 contract. It doesn't go down to like 30 or 25. It goes down to like 13. So when you're wrong big on some of those contracts. Ulta looking good. Good job, Ulta. Yeah, JPM looking good too. I saw you say that too. Like, it's just slowing down with the possibility of continuing, but right now it's at a part of that chart where it's not really breaking this EMA, and it's kind of holding above that little wick right here. So from a visual standpoint, that might relax for a couple days before making a next big move, but we'll see. We can get off PayPal. That is pretty much doing. Oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. J&J. That's pretty kick-ass. I posted that one last week. After this day, of course, I just liked that it was breaking down. You can see it held up under the EMAs and it's continuing, so that's doing great. UNH was another one I had posted, but it's still not really going away yet. You can see there's a lot of really good resistance under great EMAs, under good positioning of a supply, but no exit wound, I guess you could say. You know, it's gotten here, but it hasn't pushed through yet. So it's honestly waiting to see if this breaks 552s or not, and if not, then it's probably going to keep consolidating or even work back up. The UNH is a good one that we've been looking at last couple days. Last week was a very good example of being able to find good setups that don't go anywhere, or don't make a profitable enough move for you for whatever you're doing, just because there was a lot of big earnings. So expectations of a lot of movement, a lot lower that kind of week. Whereas this week, I'm not really thinking about that as much now. And that's kind of what I was talking to y'all earlier about too, like finding those small things like that and then making a rule behind it, because you know that you lose a lot, or let's say you know you suck at something, like make a rule for it. Like, it's not even just about if something does this all the time, and it's just about maybe you suck at something. It's not always just the chart. It's just good to adjust. Like, you ever hear someone say just adjust? That's what I would mean when I say it. Are we flipping green again on SPY? No, not yet. It did for a second. And by the way, I don't really like you looking at the EMAs in the smaller time frames. When you see me turn these on, they are only on for the daily. If I go down to that smaller time frame, it looks like spaghetti to me. But again, no hate to anybody who does use it on those time frames. I'm just saying, it just hurts my eyes. It's a little more clear on the bigger time frames. Damn, Apple really made some crazy ass moves down after that. Tesla did some hard work. They really helped us. Them and the semis helped us go up, and then these other tech stocks are like, just kidding. Oh, my bad, Sandollar. You did say that like 100 times. I'm trying to get through all these points. Because I go over this stuff for hours, and then someone asks me, and then they're like, well, you never go over this. You only go over levels. What? If you're ever in my streams, I'm always talking about, like, the next level of shit. I'm almost never going over how to draw something. We're almost always going over next level shit in here. Just because I'm tired of going over that boring stuff now. You want to go over simple levels? Go watch a video. I'm bored of watching that stuff. I'm bored of talking about it. It's time to grow. And if you've been a part of any of these streams the last 4 weeks, you guys have definitely learned a lot about the theory behind a lot of things with our system, how we do things, how we take things from a certain level to another area, how you should be day trading, how you should be swing trading. If you're using our system, of course. I'm not trying to, like, be a communist. I don't have much to look at here, bro. This chart is a fucking train wreck. I'll be dead honest. I think I remember why I don't like looking at this. I feel like I'm looking at it over the counter stock. It's crazy too, because this is in the New York Stock Exchange. Damn, that was a crazy rip though. Seemed to have slowed down massively. But this isn't really a bearish trigger either. Just because it broke the EMA doesn't mean buy puts. Normally, what in our system, you're looking for a bearish pattern into buying puts under that, and there is a bearish pattern here, but it's not the thing that broke. Today is, and they almost made it down to your next target all in one day. And even if you're not looking at EMAs, take that off maybe. There's a zone here, so I think there was good intention for bearish downside, or just downside in general for a pullback, but in a way that they're still holding the bullish trend. So EMAs are not going to be able to display that because this chart's too crazy. The math behind it's going to be a little weird to get your EMAs to be smoother. But this is definitely still in an uptrend as long as this is holding. So maybe you could just mark this if you want. Mark that low to the top of that candle there. I don't really know what else to say on the upside of things though. Because it's not fair to be like, this should be a target, this should be your target. Like, that's obvious. But what's beyond that? I would honestly I would use my daily backwards fibs on this one. I know normally I teach to do the weekly, but there isn't really much to grab here. And they haven't really pulled back much. So if you need some forward targets, I would go from this one. Do a backwards fib. Oh wow, you don't even have to. Just kidding, because they already hit both targets. Never mind, remove that. We gotta go to this one. So if this is where a green candle holds, technically you could draw a backwards fib here, and then you have good forward targets. That's crazy how that lines up. Man, Leland would be so proud. This right here is what I learned, one of the things I learned from Leland, but just kind of drawing that backwards fib, like let's say you're someone looking to see, like, does it go up from here? Where does it go? Regardless of being able to trade it or not, and this helped me on RTX when I was trading it with D-Touch. This helped me a ton. Yeah, they're still here. When they're like hidden targets, you know, let's say you're already in a bullish trade and it goes up. What the hell do? You know, do you just keep holding? Do you randomly sell? Like, it feels weird, right? And yeah, you should sell because you're up and you don't know what you're doing. So that is the correct decision. But how could you turn that into, like, how could you make something of that? And so that backwards fib is very helpful to just find those hidden targets beyond the all-time high that might not be there for most traders. But again, just kind of impressed because if you draw that one here, if you were doing it, there was almost a perfect touch of not just the first one, but also the second outside fib, which is crazy. 14 cents away. Shout out to Leland though. And this is another thing I'm talking about. Like, this is deeper than just drawing levels. Like, not just drawing it, but do you understand that these are targets, not just random resistances? And I think some people see that and they're like, oh my god, it's gonna flip from here, and then they buy before the signal has even presented itself. It's like, bro, you're not even giving the chart a chance. And that's honestly probably the reason I probably get so angry with someone who asks me such a simple question, because it's like, bro, we're in here in stream and in chat going over this all the time. Like, I get that you have questions, but please look around first. There's a plethora of resources, and we're not like other communities where it's like, click this, watch this, do that, do this. Like, no, if you got a question, I'll answer it. But I'm gonna give you the honest truth. You should be looking for this stuff. It's not like we're making this up. Let's see how the spy plan did today, actually. I didn't get to see in depth what I was looking at. So the plan today was watching for... I even started with the bearish plan because I thought today was just going to go straight down, honestly. But I said watching for breaks. Normally I do break above, then break below, but I started with the below today. Starting with breaks below 570.60 and 568.40. Or higher lows that hold that area that can lead to breaks above 575.60. So pretty much basing a lot of our game plan around this at the start of today. And this was posted yesterday at 5:46. This was before yesterday night this was posted. So we're just kind of going off the basic levels, but just recharted it, threw up some just simple levels. Didn't want to have too much on my screen. Went over the game plan. Let me turn this off while we're looking at this. That is so hard to look at. But like I said, mainly focused on this for our game plan today. Today's open is this candle here. So you can see in the first 10 minutes they broke this area, but no follow-up signal to get in yet. They actually end up holding this area, moving on beyond it. Then they give you that correct, you know, because this is kind of your yesterday trend from those highs. You can see the lower highs are still in place. And you don't have to draw this, but it's just good to note that. And you can see they kind of kept that trend here today. They made their high. They couldn't even get above, you know, just one of these recent lower highs. Broke back down, all that good stuff. Came back down to this area. Complete 40% entry. Didn't even give you a retest here until over here. And you could see the follow-up move after that. Just a little bit of a scalper. A scalper would have loved this. A day trader definitely not enjoying this. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying today was the cleanest of kills, but there's definitely obvious trend holding still. But also pointing out the difficulties behind, you know, that first 10 minutes here. There was no retest on this one. There didn't need to be, but it's just, it helps. It helps from a visual point of view, and that's at least on the 5-minute. I know some of you guys like to do what I do. You go from the 5 to the 1. Like I said, that was a nice scalper's move, but a day trader would have found much difficulty in that. And only minimal retesting here on the 1 minute for that move, and then the one that happened earlier in the day. Yeah, you'd been crazy to jump into that. That was in the first 4 minutes of today, which is not a part of the system. And then you can see a clear hold right here, so it kind of deletes some of that confidence that it could keep going down right here. Very interesting. And you can see from those lows too, they really didn't change the tone of price until that first time they went up, really. That was that first time they went up, came back down. And yeah, they held from their lows, but they pulled back a lot, actually. Couldn't make a single new high. You can see that very first time they get back up here, couldn't do it. Second time they get up here, trying to make it as level as I can. Couldn't do it. That is not level. We'll just draw that. Couldn't get over it. So couldn't keep trend in place. Like this was their only actual attempt at trying to hold to go up today. And that failed pretty quickly. Right into the Leland time zone, right at 10:30. I'm going to move that out. I say the Leland time zone because I always make the joke that he sleeps in, gets up, and it's like the perfect trade opportunity. Like time is right there. That's not what he actually does. I'm just bullying him. What do I see on Google? Do you want to look at Goog or Google? I think Google is the one you want. Real quick though, because I don't want to keep doing this thing where you guys are just going to sit here and ask me for tickers to look at. I want you guys to understand the system. What do you also see on, like, what are you looking at on this? I can give you my thoughts already, but what do you see on this as well? So now when you guys bring up tickers, I want you to also bring to the table what you like about it or what you might have been thinking about it. It doesn't have to be I'm bullish or bearish. You don't have to be saying that at all. Just something you noted on it. It could be the smallest of details. Just anything. Well, what made your mouth water over this? That's a weird way to put it. Yo, what's up, Tobias? How you doing? Yo, you won a membership today, Tobias. I can't remember whose it was. It was either Dividend or no, Sandal or Donate. Okay, it was Dividend. Dividend Bull donated, and you got a YouTube membership. I can't speak. I'm brain farting. Joyful said, I thought it was backtesting the breakout. Okay, and that's kind of what I see too. I'm seeing that exact same thing. Like, not just from a EMA point of view, but just looking at some basic price action. You can see there's definitely a resistance here, and they are definitely sitting on top of it still. So from my system personally, there's not much to get into this. If you're buying this right now, I see this as the earliest attempt at a retest trade. Like, you're not really going off of anything, because this could just keep cascading, and then it builds support and then builds back up. Right? Maybe this is just a starter, and maybe it does gap up tomorrow and then flies, and maybe it smacks 175 all in one day, or maybe it just has a small green day and sits to the right. Whatever outcome it has here, though, we know that it's a little risky to touch that first time. But I see the same thing though, and it's a good sign to see the other EMAs under the white line. The white line is you saw Maddie say it. He said T line earlier. A T just stands for trigger. That white line is a trigger. If you get a bearish candlestick and then it breaks that, we're in. We get a bullish candlestick and it's above that, we're in. But that white line has to be a part of it. Yeah, a risky starter, exactly. But you see what I mean, though? Joyful, like, it's not a setup that we have our hand on and we're like, oh, this is definitely going back up, right? We're not 100% bullish on it, right? We see the potential for it, but we're not getting into it yet. But this is what I mean, though. Like, you got to be able to, I guess this is a good way to put it. You got to be able to categorize your setups. Like, okay, this one is definitely mostly bullish. This one's definitely mostly bearish. This one's, I'm kind of leaning up, but I think it needs more time. It needs more information. And that's really what you need in a lot of these setups. You just need to see something else. Not every setup is, bam, that's time to buy. Bam, that's time to sell. And you'll get into that mindset sometimes when you're looking through setups like this, thinking you have to find one. But just basically what I'm saying is you just need to get good at being able to categorize these setups. Jesus, I am brain farting. So like I said, that one's just kind of like, but we see the potential for it. So keep it in a folder, keep it in a watch list, keep it somewhere you can keep your eye on it. Oh, that's right. I can't look at Energy yet. They just had earnings. But that's a really big thing with this system that I see a lot of people. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people get bored of doing that, and that's what makes them stop trading it. But this is one of the easiest swing trading systems I've ever stumbled across. And it really fits for people like me and people in our chat, because all of us are already looking at the other triggers, the candlestick patterns. We're already looking at that stuff. We're going over that stuff far beyond anything else we've gone over in here. So it's a huge plus for us, because we can look at that and we have comfortability knowing that we can look at that a lot more. I'm so proud of the healthcare setups. We were a little early on UNH, but we were right on time for J&J. We posted this at 160.94. So it's only moved a little bit more from there, but this candle hadn't formed completely yet, is why I like it. Like, we basically started saying we like it for shorts right here, and then it kept going down that day. Had this day right after, so that's a beautiful sign. A little bit of confusion the next day. Next day followed, just kept rejecting, and then we're finally getting that follow-up move the next week. So it took a week, but very nice. And of course, we like setups that happen the next day. I think all of us do. And that's a lot of the time you like to see me go for overnight swings. That's why a lot of people find me popular for overnight swinging, because not a lot of people have a system for it. But it's not that I have a system for it, it's just that that's one of the categories. Sometimes you end up getting an overnight swing. You don't get this chart where you're swinging it for 3 weeks. You're not getting this chart where you're swinging it for 3, 4 days, 5 days maybe. right? Some of these setups do happen the next day, and you got to be ready for that. The mindset for it. You'll, of course, be ready to accept the profit so quick, but when you're in the moment, sometimes you'll lie to yourself. You'll get to that point where you're like, oh, I'm up 80% already? Fuck, I'm going to keep holding. Like, this could be really good. I could make 180%. And that thought right there, that's the devil. That right there is Satan. Don't listen to that. I'm not even religious, but that is the devil on your shoulder. Do not listen to the voice that says, oh, you're already up 80%, man. Imagine what another zero behind that looks like. Just don't think about stuff like that. And it's impossible to, because we're human. But try your best to not let that dictate any decisions you're doing, right? If it's hitting a target, yeah, it would be nice to be up 800%. But if you're only up 80%, you got to be able to take that knowing that you're still in your learning process. You're still trying to get out of the gate, right? It's not really fair for you to jump into a trade and expect it to go 800 or, whatever percent you're looking at. It's not always that crazy. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I just want 3 more percent. That thought right there is what fucks it up for you. Because now you just changed the whole trade for you in your head. You just went from, I'm in a profitable trade, I'm gonna try to squeeze more out of it, right? It doesn't. Let's say it reverses right there. Right? Now you're in the mindset of like, well, I can take my profits here. Now you just made less than when it initially hit your target. All because of that little thought of, well, I want to make a little bit more. Fuck your little bit more. It hit your target. Get out. You don't get to, make this like random decision that's outside of your trading plan. You don't get to do that. It's not fair on your trade. It's not fair on you. It's not fair on yourself later on when you have to review this and you're looking at it and you're looking at that and you're like, oh, I did good on this. No, you didn't. You could have done better. Yeah, you made money, but could have done better. And if you're able to do that when you're making money, imagine what kind of damage you're willing to do to yourself when you're in a losing trade. It's not always about making money. Think about the opposite effect. And sometimes it's just that one little thing you say to yourself that keeps you in the trade, that keeps you in that wrong mindset. And then that right there is where the dominoes fall. It turns into making other mistakes. You end up complaining. You end up looking back at it and you're like, why did I do that? Regret. It's horrible. Yeah, secure and move on. That's a good way to put it. Secure and move on. Like, it doesn't matter how much sharper. Get out. I don't care. Go to the next one. Because right now it's about reps. It's not about getting the greatest outcome every single time. Through your reps, you will get better outcomes over time. That's the whole point. Why do I keep doing this? I'm such a creature of habit. I just went to the 5-minute on SPY without even thinking. We're not here for the 5-minute on SPY today. I keep switching the time frame too. You'll see me do that a lot. I need to keep it on 6-month or 3-month daily. It's definitely my preferred. And you can see here there's also things you can, like another category, if you guys want to write that down. To keep in your head while going through these setups so quickly and just trying to get a good one look at it is it's not always about finding setups that are just going up or down. Like sometimes it's just notable, like, oh, Amazon just at the all-time high supply. Okay, nothing to me now, but in a few weeks that might be something to remember. Like Google here with Joyful's example, like Google is hitting a notable old resistance as a potential support right now after earnings, right? So that might be it trying to hold. Is it something I'm going to jump into right here, right now and just invest my all into? No. It's just something that's notable. Very notable. I would say Meta is notable too. Not actionable, but definitely some good support there at 559.10, 561.35. So tomorrow we'll look to see if some of these charts here, because what I like to look for a lot in day trading setups is based off of my swing trading setups. So like if I see a bunch of charts like Meta and Google and SPY actually for that matter, where it's just a wick up candle, it's just an indecisive looking ass candle, the next day you can almost base most of your initial bias on direction based on it going up or down, right? So if I get a higher open tomorrow, like it holds right here, let's say it opened, oh, I am on trend line. Let's say it opens right here and then goes up just a tiny hair, fine. That's your signal. That's your sign that, okay, I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish today. Until what? Because what was the thing that made me bullish? The higher open. So what happens if we break the open? Well, that just flipped the script, right? So find the thing you dictate your direction on and stick to it. Well, how did I do that? I just right-clicked. Okay, we'll take that. I don't need that so big. But yeah, if there's other tickers you guys want to look at, let me know. Sand Dollar, what is going on? Bro's pockets are deep today. He gifted another. Oh, he gifted a membership and it went to Traveler. Good job, Traveler. He said, "Ta-ta, Traveler." Loyal for 18 months, bro. That is crazy. 18 months in the stream, Sand Dollar. I know there's a couple of you now that have it. Yeah, 18 months is a long ass time. Can you believe that, man? When we started the YouTube streams, that we'd be here a year and a half later still doing them. There was a pretty nice break in between. Hiatus. I won't lie. We are only known by the company we keep. Preach. Shout out to you, Sandollar. Thank you. And thank you for gifting that membership, too. I hope Traveler actually uses it or looks back at it or whatever. I battle with... Oh, it's not there yet. Just yet reverses, secure, move on. Yeah, okay, yeah, I read that. Yeah, secure and move on. That was a really good way of putting it. Either AMC or BIIB. Oh my god. I bet you go to other chats and you type like productive shit and then you come in here and then you just do this to me. I don't get any of the productive messages. I just get marbles and AMC. It's depressing, man. Ace could be like a trillionaire trader for all we know and he's just sitting here trolling us all the time. It's really a shame. It's really a shame he's that close to us and could show us the light. Here's another wild one, GSAT. God, you guys are really going off the deep end now. You guys are really off the deep end. Y'all are like Finding Nemo. You're going to touch the butt. You're in the deep part of the ocean just trying to make things worse. It's crazy. I miss the old Ace. I miss the old Ace for sure. That's crazy, dude. He goes into that other chat and types like productive stuff. That's crazy. He's gonna be like, what other chat? What are you talking about? Oh, this was one of the ones I said looked good. I was honestly trying to go through this list again because I couldn't remember which one it was. FedEx looks decent. And the dollar is finally slowing down over multiple days. We're not just saying one slowdown or a couple days. Like, it's actually lining up to more than just one. But again, that's probably just indecision. It being up there still with the SPY in the market because of election. Oops. Which I'm not going to blame too much on election, but the one thing I will is like the dollar and SPY right now are probably just chilling out till that's done. Which who do y'all think's gonna win? I guess this would be the one time I ask, because I really don't want to pit you guys against each other. But who do y'all think is gonna win? I don't care about who you want to win. Who do you think is gonna win? Ace really said, "Alrighty then." That's crazy. Bro just stabbed me in the heart. Deep. Dev said neither. Ace said we all lose. Accurate. Accurate as fuck. Damn, UPSD kept breaking down. Solar, damn. He said BlackRock wins. BlackRock is always winning. Too young to vote my ass. Yo, nice, Sandal. Are you still in at all, or are you're reviewing? Oh, nice. Wow, this is a pretty substantial move down. Oh, it's after earnings too. Wow. You're all out now. Okay. Damn, I like it honestly. There was good momentum there. Not a good visual on the daily, but I'm sure you were just looking at the daily. Good stuff. Tobias said, as a betting man, I would take Trump or 4 times entry to take Kamala. Jesus. He said Camellia. Has potential for a rinse and repeat tomorrow. Oh, you're looking for another impulse move and then another pullback? Yeah, you're probably not wrong. If it doesn't just keep dumping, I think you're right. I think you are right. I haven't looked at its counterparts either. Like, I don't even remember all of Verizon's counterparts. I hate you, MPH. Keep going down. You'll never see me hate on a stock besides this one. Like, actually hate it. I can't hate AMC and GME because I don't even recognize them as stocks. So, can't hate what you don't even recognize. That's how much I dislike those. We don't even recognize them. Pretty good talks today, though. I got to just rant about theory and stuff today and conditions and just conditional format, like how you should be trading, how you should be looking at things. I'm glad we got to go over that a lot. And I'm not really targeting anybody. I think a lot of you are grown up now, so I think it's just time to have those conversations more. I shouldn't be sitting here talking about how to draw an emerging candle still. Like, if that's really what you're on right now, and you've been here, that's a problem. If you're new, that's totally fine. You're just going through you're going through it. That's fine. But if you're someone who is still asking those level of questions and you've been here for a good amount of time, there is a huge red flag. I'm honestly not seeing oh, wait. I hate being bullish on CRM all the time. It just feels wrong. But it does look good. McDonald's, I would be surprised to see them retake that 55 EMA, honestly. I would be very impressed. I think that recent test of that white line, the 9 EMA, I think that was honestly just an impulse move, and this is definitely going to get some more downside. But it's at that part of the chart now where, like, everybody probably sees that now. So, I don't know. That one might not even be that great. But nice rejection, though. Can't lie. Home Depot looks good. It kind of sucks that they're holding above that next EMA because that's definitely going to give us some caution there. And yeah, I'm not seeing much today. That's really triggering me. Does anyone else get WAP free spins for prizes if they don't take me out for posting this? What? Dollar Tree is looking ripe for a move. Yeah, we were looking at that earlier too. Just because I'm a huge Dollar Tree fanatic, Dollar General fanatic. But yeah, Dollar Tree is another one that both of them honestly are just very ugly charts right now. Like, they look like they either will just keep falling or they're gonna start just consolidating long amounts of time, which they did last time as well, if we remember correctly. Yeah. Because we were already looking at this stuff way back here, and then they went back up again, and then they started pulling back down again. Just a lot of time has gone by. But when they do go down, they have a very long consolidation period. Like, it's not like they just go up and then back down. So definitely keeping that in mind. Yeah, I'm not seeing any actionable trades on some of these. And some charts I just refuse to trade in certain directions because of bias, but it's not like that's a problem. Less opportunity, but higher probability. Oh, that's kind of cool. I did not know that. Matty Ice. To be honest, I basically only entered because of Green Candlestick. But upon looking, I did like the 90% entry under 218.62 that also retook current open. I was just way late, trimmed one at the lower high from previous day, and I sold it a little bit early because I was just happy with the gain. Overall, I should have held it to my target at previous day high with green is green. Shit. Entering because of Adam isn't a bad idea. Adam's pretty smart. Don't tell him I said that. Oh, okay, so y'all actually took... This is kind of what I was covering on Spy. I was saying... Oh, I'm not going to look at it again, but... I was kind of saying the same thing on Spy. Like, there was really only, like, 2 trades that I saw. One of them was the retake, but it was risky because it was, like, the first move up. But it looks like IWM's move was a lot cleaner than Spy's. Good job. Good job looking at IWM and not just staring at Spy all morning. It amazes me how many people will still do that, even after we've made a channel that only posts IWM. I didn't do that to pat Carter in the back. I did that because IWM is important. You should look at IWM. If there's a day you feel Spy feels like crap, IWM's probably giving off a better opportunity. And if both of them aren't, then that's probably a good sign for you just to relax. If you're trying to only trade those two, of course, but I know there's a lot of people in our chat that only like to look at Spy. But IWM is great. And you can see right there, that's the perfect example. Like, where Spy couldn't give the opportunity, IWM did. Spy never gave an actionable move besides break of CDO. And even after that, it wasn't that great. But there was no break over any lower highs from the previous day after retaking that current day open. So by order of operations, it broke up, but it didn't give us anything. Right? Whereas IWM on his trade review there, and resultant review channel in Discord, you can see it had an actionable move. It broke current day open and it broke the recent lower high from previous. It didn't just do one thing, it did multiple things. So there's a huge difference between the IWM break and the Spy break today. Good job, Maddie. Sold that for 220% and 10 minutes later it hit my target at 500%, which sucks, but it was what it was. Or is what it is. I just had to complain for a second. Dude, that's crazy. That amount of movement is wild. I'm assuming you're trading same weeks. Look, I just tried to do it again. I tried to go to Spy again. I was just about to say if Carter was hearing this or reading this, he'd be proud because that's pretty nice. Same days? Oh, okay. Oh, that's why you're getting that percentage then. Never mind. I always get so impressed by that, but then I always forget the same day power. It's risky, but I like that you did it. It's like a cheap risk till you could like challenge yourself. But you just gotta remember, a lot of those need to be scalp trades, quick day trades. Nothing that you're trying to sit through too long. But great job, seriously. Oh, Prop Street was there too? Okay. Well, good then, yeah. If you had Adam and Carter there next to you, shit. You should have every bit of confidence. And that's what I'm talking about, though. Like, being able to interact with each other. Like, you're not sitting there patting each other on the back. You're just pointing things out. And if they happen to line up perfectly, all three of you will probably see it at the same time or within the same time. So I'm honestly just happy to hear the teamwork worked out. And that you're all looking at not just Spy, but IWM as well. A great backup, you know, just to go look at. Oh, they were 11 a con? Oh, okay, fair enough. And that's what I mean, like, it's good cheap risk for you to kind of, like, challenge yourself, like, because there's going to be scalps you take that aren't $11. So, it's good that you got to one that was liquid, you were able to get in and out of. which you shouldn't have that problem unless you're just buying way too far out of the money. That was funny too. That was one of the things I almost never had an issue with when I started trading, was like, I never had that barrier of like learning what liquidity was, because I never ran into that options chain that you couldn't sell something at. I just saw other people complain about it, and it was kind of funny because like I'd see it happen more and more and more and more and more as Robinhood started getting popular initially. And I was like, why are so many people having problems closing out their positions? Like, it literally, like, I learned what open interest was and all that. I was like, it literally says there's 600 people holding this. Like, I would like to think you could get out of one of them, you know? And it was just always funny hearing that. But then you're like, yo, what ticker are you trading, bro? And they name something you've never heard of. It's like, oh, well, that's probably why, bro. No one's looking at this. That's another cool thing, too. If you ever see... This happens a lot. I won't name names because I'm not trying to, like, start drama, but there's been a lot of people in the past around trading communities in general, not just this one, but just everywhere. But if you ever want to find one easy trick to find out if someone's posting fake results or not, like if they're real or not, ask them to screenshot the open interest of the contracts that they're trading before, and then afterwards ask them for those screenshots, get the screenshots, and backtest. Was that amount of open interest ever on that contract? And a lot of the time, it wasn't. A lot of the time, these guys are trading contracts where the open interest is wrong because they're not actually trading. And a lot of the time in the past, people didn't understand this, but we were able to jump on this because open interest was one of the first things I ever talked about in this group. Just because I always thought it was an interesting conversation, just open interest. It's so basic, but it's such an important number to look at, regardless of the style of trader you are. But it's always funny because you'll see people post like, oh, I just made $10,000. Oh, I just made $100,000. And sometimes they post screenshots of the open interest on it. And then you go back and you look at that contract and you're like, bro, this strike never had 10,000 open interest. What are you trading? Like, this isn't possible. It's not a glitch. They were paper trading. But that was always like one of the easiest ways to find if somebody was real or not. Just like, hey, screenshot your open interest, bro. So. And I've personally caught a few people do that and just had to kind of talk to them. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing, little bro? This is against every moral in the book. Have been trying to up my size though, but this is not the week for it in my opinion. Yeah, maybe after. But I'm glad to hear that though. Your confidence is rising. You should be wanting to grow your positions. But you don't need to take huge leaps. You know, I'm not saying go from 1 to 10, 1 to 5. No. Just 1 to 2 is fine. Just work on that. Scale up one at a time if you need to. Take your time though. You have that. You have the path ahead of you. Just take your time. I played the CDO break up for 35%, then played the breakdown of previous to have for 30. Damn, Carter! He hit it up and down. Have been trying to up my side. Oh, I already read that. I tell people when my trade is a paper trade now. No, I mean, it's fine if you don't. I'm just saying there's people out there that will do it for the wrong reasons. They're posting it to grow attention, to get popular, to have people on their, you know. And it's just crazy. Paper trading is fine. Don't take it that way. But I just hate when people post it and they're like, guys, I just made $16,000 in 16 seconds. You gotta see this. And then it's like, it's not even a real trade. What? I'm not here to learn that. That's crazy. Can't learn crazy. Three to 5 cons is my goal for now, depending on price, implementing a little mel math. Yeah, I mean, like I said though, you don't need to jump to 5. Like if you're used to 1, you don't need to jump to 5. 2 or 3 is fine. But like I said, it's all up to you. Just be comfortable. That's really what it comes down to. Are you comfortable? If you take that first trade, you're like, I'm not so comfortable with this many. Just go down a little bit on your next trade or whatever. You know, kind of Kind of test yourself, really. But don't be stupid about it though. Like don't raise your contract size and then your very first trade you're losing $300 because then you're gonna be very discouraged to want to trade again or to go up in size again. That's really why I think some people find some of my advice to be boring. Not really advice, but just our system to be boring because like stuff like that. Like someone doesn't want to hear me saying, don't go up to 5 contracts, stay at 2 or 3 because it's boring. Like I'm not saying it because it's boring. I'm saying it because it's safe. Not just from the aspect of losing less, but also for future losing. If you end up taking a huge loss on the first time you go up in size, that's not just gonna be one lost trade. That's gonna lead to other lost trades because you're so discouraged from that. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Why did I go up in size? I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you shouldn't be thinking like that. And I'm just speaking in general. That's not to Maddie. That's just in general. I mean, that is to you, Maddie. You're stupid. Only have 1 contract. Nah, I'm kidding, Maddie. Some good conversations today, honestly. I actually urge you guys to rewatch today's stream. I don't normally say that because I think that's kind of boring. But I have done non-stop talking today. And a lot of good topics. You guys are asking really good questions. We're going over really good things today. What other tickets can we look at for daily time frame, though? Anybody, anything? I still got to go through a few more, but I'm always taking suggestions. Where's Coin at? Oh, here she is. Where are all these levels? There we go. No, don't leave Discord. Almost clicked that on accident. All-time high. Well, not all-time high, but the high for right now. This is the most impressive drop. This is a crazy drop to see. Does anybody see why? This recent drop here. I'll just highlight it. This right here. Does anybody see why this is a crazy drop? Not just because it was a big move. Don't just say that. Does anybody see why this was such an impressive move? It's not just how much it moved, it's the... And yeah, we'll check out Snow, Eddie. We'll look at MSTR after that. ORLY. Is that O'Reilly? Yeah, I've still been watching Snow too, I'll be honest with you. Ever since Garden Trader and whoever... I don't remember who she was talking to that day. I keep forgetting whoever it was. But Garden and someone went over Snow in post-charge like very early on. It was you? Okay. And that's... Ever since then, I've been daily checking it myself. Honestly, just for another setup. But it's just been fun to watch because it's been there for so long. It's at such an attractive part of the chart. Yeah, the pacing. The reason this is so impressive, honestly, is the interchanging. It's how it didn't have interchanging price, right? And what I mean by that is this thing dropped from here to here, then went up, then went down again, right? Every single one of these candles is red, meaning every single day over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 finished lower than where they opened, right? But there was a lot of gapping up and gapping down in between this. So that's why I find it impressive. It's not just how they did it, it's the visual. The visual strength of sellers there is crazy. So just kind of cool to look at stuff like that. But let's look at Snow. So Snow, from what I remember when we went over this, we were just saying that it looks good for basing. We were looking for our first initial move. We got one. Now what we're kind of stuck looking for is a better hold of this initial basing. So this is kind of like step 1, step 2. We're in step 3, which is one of the last steps. So we just need to find some sort of basing. And we might as well wait for earnings to see what kind of news they have. But as long as they're holding this area, I guess that's what our goal should be. After earnings, is snow still holding above? You could probably delete everything on my screen. The main thing we're going to be looking at is between these highs right here and the lows. So we just need to see, can they hold above the 50% of this range? And if they can, good higher lows in range. If they hold on top of it, even better. It's a good visual. I don't really have anything for snow right now. And I think this is what I had already talked about in the past, because we back here, we just came back from earnings. And we were kind of expecting this chart to be boring, right? So we were saying we're just looking for one impulse move. That's not really an actionable move that we're looking for. Yeah, it was profitable, but not actionable. Now we're looking for an actionable. I needed to hold something. I need to hold on top. So, not really an in-depth breakdown on that one, but that's the truth. Just still waiting on that one. We've been going over MSTR a pretty good amount too. Oops, wrong one. Which they actually look like they need to go down some more. Just off the rip, they look like they have room to downside. They're already breaking the 9 with room to the 21. And they have a gap here too. So keep that in mind. The reason I'm highlighting the whole candle is because this is where they closed, this is where they opened, so I want to see all of it. So, high probability chance they're at least testing 220.14 with that potential chance of seeing all of that zone, but the bigger thing you're looking for is the 21 EMA, 216.60. So, 220 and 216.60, I'd say those are your two targets under if you are liking that for downside. To backtest that though, I would definitely check out coin, which that I wouldn't agree with, but Bitcoin is the more important one to backtest with, which Bitcoin is also breaking the 9. They have already reached their 21 EMA. So if you're trading MSTR in that setup, you're basically risking the fact that you know that Bitcoin has already hit its next target. It doesn't have to keep going down. So it might be kind of an awkward footing for MSTR, but an individual find on its own looks great. I would say the trigger for being wrong is also very close. 225 is right there. You also have that previous day low, that current day open. What other ones did y'all say? O'Reilly. Ooh, nice find. Damn, O'Reilly's 1100? I should do a split. Have a more attractive price for the investor. I guess they don't care about that. Holy. Never mind, O'Reilly. You don't need any advice from anyone. You're doing just fine on your own. Alright, I'm going to also emerging candles in the monthly because I have no clue what I'm looking at right now, and I just want to get a good grip on just something. How is this options chain, Sand Dollar? Is there actually movement? And this is one of those setups where it's probably already made the profitable move that you're probably trying to look for if you're looking for downside. It's already done the trigger for downside, and it already reached that 30 EMA, which is kind of crazy. Because it just did it straight up. They didn't wait. The first day they closed under, they 2 days later hit. So you're looking for one of two things. Either a continuation under 1150, which is probably higher probability due to where the EMAs are. Or two, you're looking for an impulse move, which this is already kind of happening. The impulse move is just you need to see a buyer after a bunch of lows are made, but not a move you're going to be trading on. A lot of the time that goes up close to the 9 EMA, regardless of where it fell down to. And you can see it already almost did reach the 9. So this might be that impulse move that I'm saying I'm looking for if you're looking at this chart. So you either need to see follow-up hold 1150 or follow-up break 1150. But I would say a lot of it definitely relies on 1150, the level. Yeah, it looks like in theory. That is true, Maddie. You see a dip, just buy it. It looks like on this chart. That was a pretty impressive monthly time frame we saw. You see a monthly candle go down to the 9 or 21 and hold, buy. Pretty much what this chart says. It makes me feel like I'm looking at McDonald's from back in the day. I say back then, McDonald's now. McDonald's is famous for doing this to the 50 and 55. This is what a lot of people like to look at, investors. They're pretty famous for going down and either hitting it and always coming up, or if they do go under it, they're back above this within the next 2-3 months, for the most part. There are a couple dips that are not like that. Yeah, pretty cool. But does that sound pretty cool, though? This system, being able to just look at things. I mean, most of you should know this by now, but if you're someone who's new here, definitely speak up. Hopefully some of you enjoy some of this system, because again, you should look at it for 5 seconds, and you should understand what you're looking for. If not, then you just need more time with it. But that's what you're trying to work towards. You want to be able to look at something and instantly understand. You know, your intuition should be screaming at you when you pull the chart up. 3,000 a share, never mind then. How do you ever get enough? Yeah, AutoZone. Yeah, I'm a proud owner of AutoZone at 125 a share. That's crazy, dude. You're up 3,000 on one share. Is this another joke answer? I need to come up with better tickers. Advanced autos. Oh my god. Alright, so the theory is mostly true. No. But you could probably do a deeper dive into this company, and they're probably giving up. Like, they're probably losing to the competition. One, that's probably the biggest thing. No moat. Debt, and we don't know what everything else is with this company, but they're definitely a huge difference between the other two. That's a huge difference. Oh, we're gonna remove this too. I don't like leaving my trend lines. It's just too much to look at. And thank you guys again. We're almost at 30 likes on today's stream, even though I didn't even really schedule this stream. I just said, hey, I think I'm gonna stream. So I appreciate all of you for showing up, but I did give a little warning last week just because I had a feeling today or Friday was going to be a day we find something. And today has a lot more showing than we did last week. So that's a good sign. But I'm still not seeing enough for me to just jump into anything. So I'm personally not jumping into anything new. But I'm glad to see a lot of our setups from last week did continue to work out. We talked about how the downside on healthcare was looking good for UNH and J&J. And those have continued. Get this off my screen. And those have continued. So, took a little longer than expected, but they worked out. We had UPST, which I think this just needs more time now that we see how it's invalidating now, which I can't even find it on here now, Jesus. It's like right here, yeah. So, was looking good initially, not looking so good now, so probably going to see, can we get some basing, please? Can we get some basing like the snow chart on the daily? Also, they're kind of going into earnings right now, so probably see what that does after earnings, and that'll be another post-watch. So if there's two things that we can already categorize, like I was saying earlier, again, if you don't know what I'm saying, please go back and watch the stream. But definitely categorize snow, and what was that last one? Whatever the last one was. UPST, put those in the same folder. Those are the exact same setup. Those are the exact same setup. Exact same level of thinking. And then in the other folder, definitely put Meta, Google. Holy crap, SMCI, what are you doing? You're embarrassing the rest of us. What are you doing? I don't really have anything else to put with Google and Meta. Netflix, maybe. Which is funny because those are all the same sector. So it's kind of cool. They're all doing the exact same thing for the most part, based on how we look at things. Put Tesla in that Google folder, actually. No, you're good, Maddie. Type, bro. Nobody else is typing. Full send. There's 30 people in here, and I've only seen like 6 of you actually say something, so feel free to talk as much as you want, Matter. Don't feel bad about it. My people in Discord are typing more than this. Don't ever feel bad about interacting with the stream. That's on them. What's up, Groot? Looks like a Roku. I'm always happy to look at Roku. I actually have nothing new to say about this chart. Last time I looked at this was back here. I always check this because my friend Sinful checks this. I mean, it's a company he's in, so I like to look at it. To joke with them or just to see how it's doing. But they've already made a good... it's not really a good like impulse move of the gap, but it's an impulse move to get to the gap, right? They did a good job basing and getting to this point of the chart. Since then, it's not been that good. Of course, this is because of earnings, so not really much more I can talk about that. Guys, if earnings has just happened, there's not much we could talk about. You guys understand this, right? There's a few times you guys bring up tickers, and it's like, bro, this just came from earnings. Like, that's why it's at a good-looking part of the chart. So let's please stop recommending those. I don't know how many times I've said I don't like earnings. We don't like earnings. Earnings is bad. It creates lower probability situations for your trade. I don't care how smart you think you are. If you're doing spreads, that's a different conversation, so just ignore all that together. But if it just had earnings, it's like, no duh, it's at a attractive part of the chart. Come on. It almost makes me think you didn't even look at it yourself when I see that. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but that's just what it feels like from me. It's like you didn't even look at it. Like when everyone said Tesla, it's like, no shit, look at Tesla. No duh. Nobody found it attractive when I talked about UNH or J&J. But we'll find those other attractive moves. It's like, bro, they just had earnings. This is worthless to look at. That always gets me. AAP has terrible pricing even with the online deals, but MPAA hasn't had a great time either. You didn't sound happy about MSTR and it peaked 450 that quick. Wait, really? MSTR heard me puke about it? It's just because, like, this is very bearish. Like, seeing the breakdown of the 9 with that large of a candle, and the fact that this large candle didn't use this momentum to do it all in one day to reach this, that does tell me that this is most likely at least hitting this zone to some extent. The top of it, the bottom of it, I don't know for certain. But that it just stuck out as a very bearish setup for me for like an overnight swing. I wouldn't look at this and be like, that's definitely going up. Also, didn't really like it because Bitcoin has already done what I just complained about, right? Bitcoin did just do all of that. It didn't just, I mean, actually, this is a great example right here. It closed right here, but then all in one day, it touched the next one. So unless you are in this, it's not as high probability that it breaks this next one until we see an impulse move, until we see a rejection of the 9. Just based on how the system works. So, I mean, it could continue down. But, like, this is what MSTR hasn't done yet. So that's why I was like, super bearish at the beginning, and I was like, eh. So, like, not as much bearish, but I still like this individual setup. It doesn't need Bitcoin to go down, but it would be nice to have it on the side. And you get a little bit more of a consistent move instead of a bunch of, like, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. Well, it goes down on the smaller time frame, making it harder to close out. It was 220 overnight? Dear God. When you look at your overnight, where are you looking? Are you looking at Robinhood or are you looking at, I mean, there's a bunch of places you can look, to be fair. Where did MSTR go? Where is she at? You know what? I'm blind. This was 220 overnight? That's actually wild. That one and FedEx were like the same setup, by the way. Is FedEx still there? Yeah. It's like the same setup, except FedEx is a lot more going on. There was a lot more stuck here, so... This one's risky in my opinion, but I do believe I see this as the same exact setup as MSTR. It just looks a lot different, but essentially they're the same. Meta, Google, Netflix, about the same. We talked about the others, Snow and whatever that other one was. UPST, they're about the same thing. So do you guys see what I mean, though? Like, there's, like, templates for these looks. Like, when you're going through this and you're looking through the EMAs and how you should be charting, like, there's looks, there's templates. You know, like the 40% entry is a template. You know, seeing a breakdown and then it going up and rejecting the 50%, like that's a template. Seeing that over and over again, like that's what I'm trying to put out to you guys. Like if you can categorize that and break those down for what they are, and do it accurately, then you should be able to just move in between charts and take trades as much as you want on swings. That is. But that's so hard to put into play to actually do. I'm not trying to sit here and make it seem like that's so easy. Now that I just broke it down, go ahead and do it. Like, no, it's not that easy. But this is what I want to push more of you into. If you were going to swing trade, this is what I want you to do. Because it gets you into doing things the right way, doing it the same way over and over and over again. Doing the templates, you know, I think that's a good way of kind of like keeping it in your head, because you see it and you're like, oh, that's like this trade. Then you just try to do the same thing instead of trying to sit there and think about it more in depth and freak yourself out, or maybe even make you hesitate or make you make a mistake you wouldn't otherwise make. So the templates, like seriously, try to keep that concept in your head on any time frame too. You can do this for anything, but it helps me, and I hope it helps you as well. It's like, oh, that's like this one. Oh, that's like this one. Oh, that's like this one. Oh, okay, now I know how to react to it because I've done this before. I've seen this before. I've been in this exact situation before. Will it play out the same as the situation you played before? You don't know. We don't know. But that's the whole point. Trying to do the same thing every time. Poor AMD. See, like, positionally, too, like, I think a lot of people are going to get lost on this one. Not us, but, like, just the market. I think the market's going to get lost trying to short AMD. And I just don't think it's going to work out, because if you're looking at this... Oops. Two things. One, it's really far from the 9. So even if you don't have RSI on, even if you don't know what an overbought or oversold chart looks like, this is oversold. The distance it is from the 9 EMA is so great, you can't sit here and say it is for sure going to keep going down. It could, sure, yeah, it could do whatever it wants. But if we're going off probabilities and trying to keep ourselves more on the consistency side of things and just trying to understand, like, just trying to get to that end result where it's more the same rather than you getting a different result every time. You know, it's nice to have consistent outcome. We could look at this and be like, okay, well, one, it's really far from the 9, and it's at the next demand zone. So I'm not saying it's going to bounce here. I'm just saying if you're looking at this for a trade, this isn't it, Chief. At least not yet. And that's what you got to be able to tell yourself when you're looking at these setups. You got to be able to go to this and be like, oh, well, that's not ready yet. Oh, that one's bullish. Oh, this one's looking pretty good. That one's looking, need more time on it. Like, you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to categorize them as much as you can, as quickly as you can. So you can efficiently go through as many setups as you can. You can connect this whole system to a scanner. You could be like, well, I'm just going to do 9 EM8 breaks then. I'll just have a scanner do that. You can totally set that up. You can filter out just the setups you want to look at. You only like this template? Awesome. Filter out scan results and only find those templates. Only find things that are breaking that or doing this or doing whatever condition you're looking at. I hope that makes sense. See you, Maddie. And look for a deer. Peace out. Good luck, man. It's beer season. And some of you are already really good at this, like the template thing. I'm, if anything, reinforcing something we've already discussed. Like I said, it's really nice to break things down in different ways, so you could try to understand them different ways, and maybe just hearing it a different way helps you learn it. Maybe saying it a different way helps you learn it, helps you remember it, helps you actually trust that part of your system. You know, that's another big thing too, is like, you could say this is a rule, that's a rule, this is a rule, but if you don't trust them, you're never going to follow them. So you got to be able to back up why those are rules, and that will allow you to trust them. You have to understand, why do you have that? You can't just do it and be like, I'm going to start following that. You're not a computer. You're not going to change an input and then all of your decisions suddenly just become super efficient. Like, that's not going to happen. You're human. You got to be able to do these things over time. And understand, mistakes are going to happen. That's why you got to write out your results, why you did what you did. But how is everybody in stream, Discord, and YouTube? Thank you guys for being here. I'm not leaving yet. I'm just re-seeing how everyone's doing. Checking up on all of you. But how is everyone doing in the streams? Thank you guys again for liking it and stuff. I definitely appreciate that. I know I hadn't planned to do a stream today, but I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here for at least some conversation. I've been enjoying the new stream schedule though, because it allows me to talk about what I really want to talk about. I mean, I'm like if you're really stuck on day trading information still, that's great. But that's literally going on in the trade floor every single day, right? What isn't though? Swing trading, and that's what I want to talk about more now. So you'll see me going over that a lot more and just looking at setups. If you have questions, that's great. I'll be happy to answer them. But definitely take your time to look through the swing trading playlist and any other resources we may have that regard swing trading. Because for the longest time, I have traded the same system for both day trading and swing trading. I haven't really switched up on either of them in a long time. If anything, they've been worked on. I'd say a lot of my day trading scalping information has definitely been more efficient after talking with people like Leland, after trading a little bit longer. The swing trading stuff, of course, a lot of that was just me by myself, but I had a lot of help with just other inspirations, you know, outside inspiration. So it's nice having the same system for the same shit every single year. You're not really having to look to switch it. If anything, you're just looking to upgrade it a little bit. Maybe you do things a certain way. Maybe you change it up. It's nice. I'm going to post the polls message a little early just to get it out there because I keep forgetting to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and post that one so we have it there. Chilling, working, listening. Good to hear. Oh, Carter, the guy who plays Major Hewlett. I don't remember how to say his name. But the guy who plays that guy, that actor is crazy. Like, I'm not joking. He literally looks like somebody who was like part of the Nazi party, went into a time machine, came to our time zone, like came where we are here now, and just became an actor. Like, he actually looks like somebody who could be like an evil person. Yeah, he's in one of the Batmans. Yeah, that guy is such like a notable evil looking person. How big of a douche is Arnold? Oh, the biggest. But that guy, I always like seeing him in scenes because I'm like, oh, some shit's about to go down. Let's go. There's a few actors like that, but he always has that like, I'm evil face. Yeah, that show's growing on me. I like it. I mean, I knew I was gonna like it though. That was the issue. Like I knew it wasn't gonna be a show I'd dive into, be like, oh my god, I love this. Like I knew I'd love it. It's just right up my alley. I'm also happy I jumped into it when I did, because I didn't jump into it and there's like one season of content. I jump into it and there's like a few, so I can actually like, you know, munch on it for a bit. I like binge watching. I hate jumping into shows and watching them week to week or day to day or whatever people do. It just, I can't do that. So I'm happy I jumped into it when I did, because now I actually have like a bunch to watch. I mean, not as much as I did, but I have some more to watch still. Not much more. I think I have like, there's 4 seasons, right? I think I have 1.5 left then. Or no, I only have 1 left. That was the end of it the other day. Never mind. I'm about to be on the last season. I was trying to think, because honestly, they mix it so well together where it's like hard to remember what season is what. Like, which is a good thing. I hate when shows do that. Where it's like, oh, that's this season. Oh, that was that season. It's like, I hate when people are so easily able to categorize a season. Oh, that was that season everybody hated. Like, where in this show, it's not like that. They mix in really well. Oh, that was the boat season. A lot of big shows have that, though, to be fair. Like, I remember when I first started watching The Wire, and, like, everybody knows season 2 is, like, the weird one, but it really wasn't that bad. It was great. And then, like, Game of Thrones is honestly the famous one. Like, everybody always shits on how the end of the season was and end of the last season, and just how they horribly ended it, just how bad it was. I feel like a lot of shows to that size will do that. Hot take, hot take. Which is not bad. It's good because you can remember, like, oh, that was that season. That was this show. But I feel like in some cases it's bad because you notice the flow's not there. Yeah, it's a piece of the war, not exactly. It's just a small capture of everything going on. It's not everything going on. No, that's what I like. It's a small piece. You're watching just a storyline, part of a storyline. It might be one of the more important storylines of that storyline, but no, it's really cool. I like it. High key though, they're missing Mel Gibson, man. If that show had Mel Gibson, oh my god, it wouldn't have worked out because they'd been like, wait, how's William Wallace here? But if that shit had Mel Gibson or, hold on, let me find the actor. Draco Malfoy's dad. I can't remember anything else that he's in besides that. But Draco Malfoy's dad, that actor. If they had him or Mel Gibson in this show, it would have legit broken, I don't know, would have broke minds. Those are like the perfect, I'm totally from 17 to 76 type looking actors, man. I don't know how he does it either. He's been in movies where he's in like the 1700s. He's done movies where he's like even further back than that. Like, I don't know how some of these dudes do it. I start talking about movies and people drop out. No, they did. They did. I'm not hating on the cast. I'm not at all. They still did great. Considering, like, you can't just pick anybody for those types of roles. Not everybody looks like they deserve to be in the 1700s. But oh my god, if it had one of those two people. I wish they do another. Need to do another one. Just do like straight up World War One or something. I feel like people are bored of World War One though. Like it probably wouldn't get the numbers it needs. Like to me, that was amazing, but like to most people, it's just like boring trench war. But there was so much more than that going on that doesn't even get covered. In World War II as well, like you know how in the Turn spy show, like we're just looking at that stuff. In World War II, like I feel like a show could be made just on the spies of World War II, like an entire show. There were so many things that weren't really brought to light that were like kind of crazy, impactful to the war. Like, did y'all know there was a secret? I mean, most of them were British at that time. Almost every great spy was British, but they had a spy who was so good, he went to the other side and somehow altered their radio communications to say like other things. I forgot what happened, or something shifted, or I don't know, something happened. And they somehow made it to where the communications told them, hey, these are the direct coordinates you need to be launching your artillery on. And they were trying to set up artillery strikes coordinates for hitting the UK. They were trying to hit England. And they had the spy system, had them set it up to where they made it seem like the UK was getting hit a lot harder than it was. They made it seem like they had direct impact on every single city. And in reality, some of their targets were 40 miles off of the nearest city. So it was kind of funny that like one or two spies somehow made it to where England wasn't, you know, completely destroyed. And it was all just the help of like literally one or two spies that just helped alter the coordinates a little bit. They just made them move their shots. And then I think they had communications making it seem like people from the UK were dying left and right, you know, making it seem like their strikes were hitting. And it was just crazy, like one little simple trick. There was also another one. This is kind of nerdy, but the main reason that we won World War II like so quick, I mean you can't say it's quickly, but it was quick for what it was supposed to be, is because of Hitler. He was stupid. He didn't know any strategy. His generals would sit there and tell him like, we need to do this, we need to do that, and he'd fuck it up every time. But the most important one was at the very beginning of the war in Africa. There's only so many ports that you can land an entire military offensive on. You can't just land up on a beach and say, we're invading here. You can't. It's not possible. It's just not, the land is not right for like certain ships that need to land or certain size vehicles that need to land. Like it's not feasible. It's only feasible in certain areas, right? So they go to this one, and I forgot if it was like one or two spies, but the spies somehow made it to where they scared Hitler into thinking that we were going to invade somewhere else. So he moved back all of his generals, even though they were advising him not to. Because of the help of that one or two spies, that made him back up his people. And then we landed on the beach that we needed to, somewhere near Africa. And that allowed all of us to set up to, you know, invade. It was just like, damn, like, one or two spies jump into that and they changed the, like, complete outcome of war. Like, 3-4 people. They changed what could have been a lot worse. It's just crazy impact. Crazy impact. I'm not talking about it anymore. I started talking about movies, people left. I started talking about history, people joined back. Make that make sense. Not really anything new to look at. Kind of just re-looking at setups, see if they're all still kind of where they were before. Nothing new though. I might check out Spy for a second just to see what's up. And yeah, today we'll be able to remove this. I'll be adding this. We'll be adding this. Whoops. The low of that candle to the top of the last red. Add a couple days to it. And that's... yeah, that's it. I might add this actually. Look how clean that is. I'm so ready for tomorrow already. And then we can add the halfway point as well, which Might already be able to add it unless we make more movement today, but I just don't think that's happening. And yeah, about 570.19, so I'm not even gonna bother adding it. It's pretty obvious where it is. Your fiance's great grandpa was a KGB spy. What a legend. See, that's living on edge. That's going against the grain. She's the one. Her great grandpa was a Russian spy. I love her. Good posting, Al. Alsta. He's doing good in that post-charts channel. And I'm honestly happy to see some of the people step up that we talked to before. Because I remember some people were just like, not struggling, they were just having a hard time interacting with the rest of the chat. But I'm seeing a lot more of those people just become leaders now. Like they're the people starting conversations, and that's really nice. Yeah, Leland, you missed some good turn content. Yeah, loser. Not part of the I've seen turn clubs. Loser. High key, Carter. Leland said if I didn't rewatch Walking Dead, that he would hold my family hostage. I probably should rewatch it because I never finished it. I'll be honest with you, Leland, and please don't spoil anything. But and this is a rhetorical question. I do not want a response. I'm honestly just asking this out loud because it is my biggest interest if I rewatch Walking Dead. Oh, Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, my bad. But Walking Dead, I'm a little interested about because when I stopped watching it, I never finished it. It was like season 6 or 7, I think. It was like 5, 6, or 7, one of those. Like, you know Negan, you know he's evil as shit, all that stuff. It moves on. I saw a clip on YouTube where they're friends with him. What the hell has happened between season whatever I saw and the end? Don't answer that question. Again, rhetorical. But just like, what? How is that even possible? I don't care how much plot armor there is in the world, bro. You can't make that make sense. I don't care how many seasons of time it took to get that to work. There's just no way. He says it does make sense over time, comma, trust me. Hey, I saw that ALST. That's honestly why I was commending you, because that's one of those more advanced topics that I like to talk about. Like, honestly, up until Leland joined, I really didn't have these advanced topics to talk about. I didn't think about them this deep, but like order of operations, the staircase, just the basic stuff with the liquidity grabs and just stuff like that. Like that stuff seems so simple when you're going over it, but it is so advanced compared to like what you're looking at originally. You know, it goes from I like levels to it just made a lower high under previous day high supply. It has a higher probability chance of breaking this, moving towards this, blah blah. Like being able to say all of that with confidence, that's next level. So that's why I was commending you. It's like a next level topic. I'm happy to see you talking about it so much more. Order of operations, staircase. These are two things that really can just make things feel easier than they are. And it's also good to have a reality check. Like, I hate when I'm in a trade, and I hate when I see people do this too. Like, you see people get in a trade and they're wrong, and they just want to hold it. It's like, bro, you just said this was your stop loss. Why are you holding past it? Yo, this was your inval. This was the reason you were bullish. Now that it's breaking down, why are you still in? You know, it's like... doesn't make sense. Alright, Leland, well, I got two things to finish then. I gotta finish because I gotta see the Negan thing, and yeah, I'll watch Sons of Anarchy. That one was gonna happen over time, regardless, though, because I didn't realize how big my mom was into the Sons of Anarchy and Dexter. I didn't realize that was like a big thing. Deer in headlights when you see your position getting destroyed. When you see you entered calls at a lower high. When you're buying calls under current day open. And it hasn't even moved down yet. You are in the drop. You are the liquidity that allows the price to drop. Leland, you're talking to Sinful too much. You're able to just spit memes out over text and YouTube stream chat now. This is a power you earn. Oh, a power you earn when you're exposed to Sinful. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It could be a good thing. It might have made you funnier, for all we know. You might be funnier than Sinful now. He said, I am like level 10 memer. Sinful is level 69. Yeah, he is pretty high up there. There are levels to this shit. I hope he's not here so he doesn't hear us glazing him. Like, I hope he turned the stream off after he said she's the one. Like, after he said that to you. Oh, nope, he's here. Level 420. Everything in one. Man, Spa looks like crap right here. Another breakdown of that 570-60 after failing to lose it before. Yeah, oh. Oh, he's here. Oh, he's here. Start saying bad things about Sinful now. No more being nice to him. I was reading about his commie relative. Close commie relative. Let's get that right. They were close. He never met the great grandpa, but he met him in spirit. He was charged of commie propaganda in India. What a legend. He's like, guys, fuck America. We need to expose our beliefs into other countries. Our ideologies just aren't expanding enough. Goes to India. Real quick, because I don't do enough promo work for this. You guys need to download the free, that's right, free Candlestick Handbook Guide that Leland made. If you don't know where to look, please ask. You can check the pinned messages of Trade Floor within our Discord, which has it's actually pinned multiple times there. I think I even posted it in the part of my YouTube channel. You can go to like the section and click it, the community section, and it's on my Twitter. So, and you could just ask for it if you don't know where to look. Just ask. But please, 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 please look at that. It's free. It's probably the best candlestick guide. I almost said guide and book at the same time. I almost said good. It's almost the best guide out there because it doesn't just go over the patterns and what they are. It goes over how to actually trade them. So, yeah. Inside bar, outside bar, probably the most broken down I've ever seen. Thanks to Leland, of course. All this is thanks to Leland. But again, definitely make sure you have that. You have your free copy of it. Well, your fiance was born in Indonesia? That's crazy. I didn't know she was not from here. She looks more American than Leland does. Leland looks like he could be Australian if you didn't hear him speak. Like, he just looks like someone who's Australian. Hot take, cold take, take it how you want it. If only I had the accent. Yeah, if you had the accent, you'd be a lot cooler. He's like, but I surf. Oh yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, Australian accent. Oh hell yeah. Inner circle friendship. Let's go. And you know what's cool about the way you're posting, Al, in the post Sharks channel right now too is like, let's say you, I mean, you're not gonna forget probably any of that stuff because you're posting it and stuff, but like let's say like a day or two goes by and you're like, wait, didn't I just do that? You could like, you can go back to that. You could see your whole breakdown. And like what's cool too is somebody who might have zero clue what they're looking at will look at your post and be like, oh my gosh, like he's fully updating it left to right. And this right here is the best way to help in my opinion because it's the most hands-on approach. It's not just like do this, do that, here's an example, now copy it. No, it's actually doing it on the go. Good job, by the way. I'm still watching your post. I didn't want to add a bunch of emojis to them until you were done. I like to let people just do their thing. But yeah, guys, if you want to follow a really great example, definitely check out the Post Charts channel. Really awesome post in there right now. Is Ulta just gonna launch now that it's back above this again? I was saying from here it should hit this area and then it did this. Held the bottom of the zone. Now it's moving up. So not in a timely manner. But it is definitely working up to that area. A break of 385, 387, 30s, and this should work up to 395. I say should. Not a huge fan of shorting banks, but JPM does look a little top heavy. Not the biggest fan of this, because it's a bank. I just don't like shorting banks. But based on the system, it should go down and test 216. It really needs to break whatever the low of that wick is. 218.80. But it's already home free. It's got multiple bearish candlesticks. The latest one is the inverted hammer here. Next day they close under the 9 and the 21. And this is coming off of all-time high supply. Actually, that's the all-time high. So that's also another caution flag there. Let's go J&J. And see, this is one of the setups I posted with my bot last week. No contract with this play. Or no, I didn't. I just posted this for premium. I didn't post this for an actual trade. But I was posting more of these now because I want people to see the examples of them. But like, when this candle was breaking, like it hadn't broken this yet. We posted it about right here, but it broke down a little bit more. This should give you more confidence, right? And yeah, it's sometimes gonna not just go instantly. But now look at it. So now we just turned a trade that was 160 to way lower now. Which is not that impressive on the J&J chart. People always want to be part of the big moves, but they don't ever want to talk about why there has to be upside and downside in certain parts of the chart after something happens. Like, you gotta be realistic. Okay, I need to quit doing this. 6 months. Jesus, Berkshire. Definitely drop a like on today's stream if you hadn't already. Thank you guys, though. A lot of likes for today's stream. Not even scheduled. Wait, Leland is here? Sheesh. Why wouldn't he be here? Where else would he be? When I start streaming, the port that is stuck into the back of Leland's neck exits, and like a robot, he gets up and he joins stream. When the stream ends, he goes back to his docking station, and he, yeah, chills on the cloud till the stream starts again. He is a robot. A lot of people in here, Gorov, have other jobs, believe it or not. And to be honest with you, I don't really ever hear my people complain about it either. I don't have a bunch of complaining why crybabies. I can't even speak. My people work and they trade. Well, most of them at least. Rebooting out of sync. Out of sync. Tobias says, I have 2 other jobs. We make money however we can. I don't know where it comes from at this point. I was out of job for about a year. That's when I stopped trading. Now trying to get back into the flow. Oh, well, definitely take your time then, man. Definitely take your time. Pace yourself. Be comfortable. I'm happy to hear you got back on your feet. Happy to hear that, man. It's very cool. I've honestly been a protector of people like that. Like it amazed me back in the day. It's not really as popular now. Or maybe it is, I don't know. I stopped paying attention. But when I first started with this group, there was a lot of hate towards people who had jobs while trading, and it was like, what the fuck? Like, who are these like abnormal people hating on these people? And it's funny too, because like some of these people that'd be getting hated on are like would have like regular jobs. It wasn't like they were like, I'm an astronaut. Like like they go to office jobs, most of them, you know. But I don't understand the hate behind it. Like that shouldn't discredit you. If you have a job while trading, that shouldn't discredit you. I understand there might be rules for you being able to trade or not, but that shouldn't discredit you. That shouldn't, you know, take away your motivation. That shouldn't delete everything you've learned up to this point, you know. If anything, you should be even more proud of yourself. You were able to achieve and learn all that much while having a job, while being busy on your feet, while having a family, while having whatever everyone's case may be. Like, that's commendable. Like I couldn't have done it. I'll tell you straight up right now. I wouldn't be able to do anything I'm doing right now while doing all that at the same time. That would drive me nuts. So I mean, there's some personal resilience there by a lot of you. And it's not like it's like easy. I'm not saying it's easy at all. It's probably a pain in the ass. Probably stresses you out. But look how far you've come even after all that. Yeah, literally, Will. That's a good way to put it. He said, if you're not a full-time trader after your first week, what are you doing? That's how this space is. It really is. It really is like that. People treat each other like shit. I honestly, I think it's only logical to be impressed by that, though. I think it'd be logical to be like, oh, wow, you're in here right now talking to me at this level of trade? Like, you're talking to me about deeper shit, deeper concepts, and you also have a job? Like, I know you're not fully focused on this, and you're able to sit here and talk to me about that? Like, that's impressive. Like, what? I should impress you. It shouldn't be like, oh, you have a job, fucking loser. People who type that stuff are the same people who same day options and just lose it all. So don't listen to those people. And honestly, you shouldn't even be on a platform where those people are even allowed to speak to you. If you're on X and you're seeing that kind of hate, why are you following them? Why are you, what the fuck? Why are you even on X in the first place? You know, your attention should be elsewhere. There's nothing on X that's going to change your trading. And look at what Alquin said. Gorov, he said, I mean, not just Gorov, everybody look at him, but he said full-time job, coffee business, consultant at a startup, and he trades. And I've never once heard him complain. I honestly feel like that's a good thing about our tribe. I've never seen anybody complain about that. Like, maybe sometimes it gets in the way, but that's just realistic, being real with yourself. That's not being sad about it. It's inevitable. No time to complain. Fair enough. But like that, you should see that as a strength. If you have a job and you're able to, you know, go into the Discord even for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Post some stuff, talk about some stuff, just get whatever you need to get out so you can have it to review the next day. Done. You've done your job. Anything else extra is a cherry on top. Yeah, I don't have another setup. JPM looks pretty good. J&J, if you're jumping into that, you're late as hell, but it could just keep dumping. Based on that setup. I didn't see where the further EMAs were for J&J, but you might actually have to, and for the UNH chart, but those both have targets if you just draw them out. And then what was the other one? It's FedEx. I'm not really a big fan of that one, as much as I was earlier. And then MSTR wasn't looking that bad. That's probably the only risky setup I think is feasible is the MSTR one. Why can I never find them on my watch list? What did I do? What? Oh, it wasn't on there. I'm looking for a ticker that's not there. That would explain why I'm schizophrenic. Not actually. That's insane. Last 30 minutes of the day, how is everyone doing in today's stream, in today's market? How is everyone feeling? And how are we feeling about the election? Cannot wait for that to be behind us. I can't wait for the memes to pour out from the internet, and I can't wait for us to just focus on trading. I mean, we haven't really been unfocused, but more focused. And honestly, with all the conversations we had earlier about swing trading and all the more advanced kind of talking behind just entering and exiting, like the other conversations, I really hope some of you guys take time to actually look at some of the swing trading content and get into it yourself and post some of it yourself, because it is kind of fun. It's kind of a fun routine to get into. Just kind of looking through setups, progressing through them, talking about them, being informed by them and talking about them, kind of moving your plan from that. And just remember, you can go to the playlist part of the channel right down here, swing trading videos, VFull playlist. Personally, I would watch this one first because it's like, it's every setup I like to go for in one video. It's 50 minutes, but it has everything. And then the rest of these are just kind of like add-ons. Like, these are other things you can do. I even included Stephen Bigelow in here just so people can see this is part of the system. I would definitely check his system out. Or his like thinking behind everything, and it's kind of cool. You could just click on it, see the setups. I still promote this guy. I don't care how long he'll be gone. I don't care. I will promote that man to the day I die. Where do I look? I'm gonna choke you. You're gonna be looking in the dirt. Just kidding, YouTube. It was a friendly threat to a friend, Ace Ventura. The pet detective. He really likes pottery made out of guava or guavo or whatever the bat feces is called. Europe thinks you guys will go full civil war on a tight election. People too bearish. It's not a tight election though. Are people in Europe misinformed? I don't think I've once seen this as a tight election. And neither has the stock market. Stock market already priced in a good chunk of it, considering most of tech went to all-time highs recently. Is Europe like... Does Europe actually think that? Europe actually thinks it's a tight election. That's crazy. To be fair, part of Europe thinking it might be a tight election is also biased, considering most of Europe is left-leaning. Far left-leaning. Most of Europe. So, that could also play part into it. Could also just be bias. Yeah, media, exactly. Which, in our media's... I'm never going to defend our media in America. I think they do very bad for both Democrats and Republicans, honestly. I think they do a horrible job of reporting on that. Not just, like... I don't even care about the hate on Trump stuff. Whatever, like, he wants the smoke. But some of these other people, like... There are legit politicians out there. You just wouldn't know it because it doesn't feel like it. All the mass media reporting how bad everyone is and how evil everything is. Like, it's really not that bad. The political side of it's pretty bad. Yeah, no, media is horrible, bro. I always try to teach people in this chat too, like, it's not just about political stuff. Like, I show people, like, the trading politics. Like, it's horrible. People treat each other like crap off of nothing. Like, let's say you figured something, like, let's say you found something out about me online, and then you post about it. Like, people will die on that hill trying to bury that person over something stupid, you know? It's like, what the hell? And then... I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, that whole drama is just stupid. It goes from, like, hold up, I'm on Twitter because I want to inform people and grow my platform, to I want to destroy other people's platforms and just wreak havoc everywhere, and I want all the success. And then during that process, like, they think they're gaining people from these chats, and they might be, sure. But you're also literally making people quit trading. Like, there's people out there who see all that, and they're like, alright, I'm done. This is the last group I want to do this with. Like, the whole... That's bad. And that's just the trading side of things. Like, bro, the political world is even worse than that. It's way worse than that. Like, if you ever find someone say something bad about a politician, and then you ask them, like, straight up, regardless of Democrat or Republican, I don't care. Ask them straight up, where did you hear this from? Link me. Just tell them where'd you get it from? And they'll be like, oh, bro, Washington Post posted this. What? You're serious right now. Like, CNN posted this. Like, I don't... You just can't take that. And same thing with trading news, though. It's like, where'd you hear this from? Oh, I got it from Twitter. Some guy on Twitter told me about it. You just can't feed into that. It's not that part of it is wrong. It's that all of it is wrong. People shouldn't be treating people that way. For clicks and views and attention. Growth. It is growth, but it's horrible growth. Damn, I wish they didn't have earnings so soon. That doesn't look too bad either. Ooh, CVS. Still falling. Target actually looks good for downside now. It's flipping. Damn, RTX actually pulling back a good amount finally. I think a lot of, like me and D-Touch especially, have been waiting for this to do something, because I want to trade this again. I just don't want to buy it at all-time highs. Alright, so last time I'm going to ask everybody, who's winning the election? Who is winning this shit tonight? Well, it's not just tonight. Do y'all ever watch that political map as the voting is like counted and reported? Do y'all ever watch that on Google? I think a couple elections ago I watched it and I thought it was accurate, and then the last one I watched, it felt very off. In both directions. It wasn't like just a Biden or just Trump thing. Like, it felt off altogether. But I was just curious if anybody watches that Google like map that is on Google. I don't know why I'm saying Google so many times. I always thought that was kind of interesting they even had it. I wish it felt more accurate, but it's kind of cool. "20 minutes left in the day, 20 minutes, about 45 seconds. If you guys have any questions or comments about today's stream, please be sure to drop whatever you have in the stream chat. Also, I really do hope some of you go back and watch today's stream. I might even go back and cut some of it up just because there's a lot of really good points made today on just the swing trading stuff that I always get asked so many questions about. And then when I link someone a video, they're like, well, I'm not watching all that. And then they still ask me the same questions, and it's like, bro. Like, if your question was that deep, I wouldn't have just linked you a video. So obviously your question is surface level, and you should just take time to figure it out. Maybe I don't want to give you the easy answer, because then you're just going to be looking for that one thing every time. But if I make you figure it out, you'll know the ins and outs of that one thing, not just the one thing. Like, oh, that's a bearish candle. Okay, but what else? What else is there? There's so much more there. Like, what else? So it's really good to do it on your own, but I don't mind helping. At least swing trading. I'm not trying to act like an expert. God, that candle's so big. I'm gonna not short this one. Dude, y'all have to check this out. Oh my gosh. Why is my Discord like that? Well, this is what I'm talking about. Just going over a trade like way beforehand, during the beginning of it, during the end of it. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Sold into strength. Oh my god. I just got a trading boner reading this. I fucking love you, dude. He has the level. You fucking beast. This man waited 10 minutes and it gave him the entry again. Oh my god. Yeah, bro, this is beautiful. I have no words. Oh my god. I hope he's at stream hearing me say all that. That is actually beautiful. Take your time, bro. Take your time. You might not even have to with how you did it in that channel, but if you want to, you can. That is really good. It's like it's thorough practice because I mean you're basically making yourself understand literally every turn and corner in that trade now. I say you don't have to, but it's definitely really good if you do. Man. Good stuff, Al. Seriously, I'm impressed. I'm not just like glazing you. I mean, I am glazing you, but it's out of actual hard work, not of just random luck. Good job, man. And I don't even care about the outcome. Like the fact that you can type like that, the way that you can reply to yourself, the way that you can keep update, like that's what I'm impressed with. I don't give a shit about outcome. I don't care about that. I mean, it is nice to win trades, yes, more than not. That's obvious, but it's nice to see you're really into it. You're really giving detailed explanations on each and everything you're doing, and that honestly just shows that you do know what you're doing. Again, we just all need time. Really, it's just time, reps, growing, and you see what I mean though. Like it's really easy to start out trading. It's really hard to do what you're doing right now, maintaining, doing the same thing over and over again, trying not to, lose your sanity while doing the same steps over and over again, maintaining doing the same steps, your discipline. It's the hardest part of trading, is getting to a point where you know what you want to do every time, and then trying to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. It gets boring. Boring is good, though. If you're bored of doing what you're doing, good. That means you're doing the right thing. That means you're sticking to the same. You're trying to repeat actions you've seen before. You're trying to see the templates of trades you've had success with before. But good job. Poor Oracle. Bearish kicker into a potentially bearish retest under 170.64 and the 9 and 20 on EMA. Next level is way down there at 164. Next EMA is basically right there. That's a pretty crazy looking chart. That would almost need to gap up and move up to invalidate that setup. That's pretty crazy. Not a bad setup though. Downside on Oracle, you could have a stop at 170.65 or 9 EMA. Probably that level though. I don't even know if shorting Oracle is like a profitable, like if that chain's even worth it. But that setup looks nice. I'll have to come back and look at this tomorrow and see what it did. Also, something cool you can do like mental trades, go grab a contract, write it down somewhere, and then not actually take the trade, just kind of watch it, and then see how the contract moves. And this also can help you get a better understanding of how a certain chart moves with its contracts. Most of the time, it won't always move just like that, but it can be helpful. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. A lot of really cool topics. I like when we get to do these kinds of streams because they're the most exciting, but they're very informational. We're able to give each other feedback on things. It's not like it's just me saying a bunch of shit. Like, I mean, it is, but on the other end of it, I love reading out any messages you guys are doing or any kind of trades you guys are taking or are a part of. I always like to include some of that as well. Just because it shows, like, it's not just me or just Leland or just this guy or just that guy. Like, it's not just Garden, it's not just Al. Like, there's so many people who can do work with this system, with all of these different strategies we have. And they're not that complex. Like, they really are pretty simple once you get to understand, oh, this is how I should have my screen, or this is how I should be looking at this. So, give yourself some time, that's for sure. could definitely be annoying when you feel like you're being rushed and you feel like your results aren't where you want them to be. You're thinking to swing Tesla. Be careful just with the election and all that. I only say careful with Tesla because this is going to be affected by the initial reaction, that is. I'm not talking anything long term or anything. You've been busy a whole day at work? Damn, sounds like a good day then. Hope your day was okay, Mikey. Good to see you, though. Hope you're okay. I gotta repost AK's tweet in Discord. Anytime, Sandollar. Thank you. You always do a good job, Sandollar, of lifting the spirits of everybody in here. No matter how crazy you may seem. You're up 19%. That was quick. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a crucial spot, even if we're not thinking about the election. There's either a little bit more room under this last EMA down to this weekly demand, or they hold this as the next higher low, because you can't ignore this right here. The fact they came up above this, held it, that's a great sign. The fact they're still above this by a little bit is a great sign as well, that any higher open or any hold of this area can be seen as a higher low on the bigger time frames. So this is pretty crucial. This is where a higher low can be made or where the continuation can occur. It's the perfect spot to put the market in right before important results like that. I honestly don't know if we'll get much movement from the actual results or anything, but I know for a fact people are not going to shut up about it for the next 2 weeks, so we're stuck talking about it. But that's okay. We will make the best of it. And we already did the next our levels for tomorrow. If anybody needs help editing those, feel free to ask any questions. This is definitely the time to do it. But the levels are pretty much set for the next day. We just edited them a little bit, fixed the demand for low of day, took out the one from a day or two ago, and then just added today's high. So we got a pretty good system here. We're either looking for the breakdown or break up. Good outside targets, not just those levels. You can look for the in-betweens as well, which I cannot draw for some reason. Also, inside of the range, let's say nothing happens. You know, we could be looking for higher lows holding this area that exits to move back up. You could be looking for lower highs that reject this, just like today. Exactly like today, actually. So, bunch to take away from today's chart, but it's very clean. It's very, like I said, clean. It's comfortable to look at. There's spacing between the levels, so we're in a good part of the chart in terms of intraday trading. So we shouldn't have any issues with that. I want to see another chick sitting in the middle of the road screaming out no. And yeah, we can do marbles again on Friday if y'all want. I know we didn't do it last week, but if y'all want to do marbles, we can do that Friday. Last Friday, or not this last Friday, but the Friday before that was pretty crazy. We did the full day Friday stream. We did marbles for an hour and a half after, and then like 3 hours later, 4 hours later, the Daffy stream happened, and we did that for like 3 hours. 2 hours of it recorded, 3 hours of it just everyone chilling. That was crazy. 2 Fridays ago was very crazy. That was like the longest day I've been a part of in a very long time. But it was fun. It was good. That's why it felt long, because it was just... we were having so much fun the whole time, and it felt like time was flying, and then you look at the clock and it still wasn't really moving that bad. So time wasn't flying, we were just making it seem that way. That was fun though. Andrew 800 is typing. Oh, I meant to look at that on the daily. Oh, I guess I don't have to now. You posted it. Did indeed drop after the 3 Black Crow. Last month I did mark this currently as of now. I'm break even, waiting for another 2 day or two to assess. That, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like the way the fact that you're able to say that means that you're at that next level. You said as of now I am break even, waiting for another day or two to assess. Understanding that it probably isn't the greatest continuation right now, but that it might, you know, it still might turn into just a bearish retest, flips down more, right? Like the fact that you know there's a couple different outcomes from where it is right now. That's growth. Because you got to be able to be really just situationally aware is really what that is. Just situational awareness. And just using some basic stuff too. It's not like we like sat here and like did a bunch of equations and whatever to come up with answers. Like, no, you looked at it, you reviewed it, and you're like, all right, this is what it is. Not having to like sit there and, you know, think too much on it. Last minute of the day, guys. Last 60 seconds. Make sure to drop a like on today's stream. Definitely go into the Discord and the polls channel. There is a channel you can click on. And you can click on how was your day. Good, bad, or didn't trade. Probably should reword that, but whatever. And just let us know. It's just a general poll for us to see how everyone's doing day to day. And it does look like these are going to end up being our levels for tomorrow. So I'll just go ahead and screenshot and post that now. Get it out of the way. Well, guys, thank you all for the likes on today's stream. Thank you for being here with me. I know we don't typically do Monday streams, but I wanted to be here. Expect a stream every day this week, so I will see y'all then. Full day Friday, of course, that is the bigger stream of the week, so if you want to catch the full days of events and all that stuff, definitely be there. End of day after the last 30 minutes to last hour of the day, we will play marbles, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for the stream. Thank you for all the support. Definitely share around the Discord, get some people to join, get some more interaction. I don't really care about membership signups, just like it'd be nice to get more people and train them up, and then us to have more people to work with. But regardless, I'm really happy to see all of you guys stepping up and just helping each other out, because it's really nice to look into chat and me not really dictate what's going on, and then see that everything is happening correct. Like seeing everyone's working their ass off. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. But it matters that we are working our asses off together, because it's really nice to go in there and see, you know, oh, this guy's posting SPY, this guy's posting meta, and then you go look at it, you backtest, and you're like, oh, wow, that he has the same levels I do, you know, that makes sense. So it's just nice to have that. It's like reinforcement. It's just really good encouragement. It's good outside motivation. But thank you guys again. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. And, yeah,